pace that Nigma can set is it's all down to them. If they make mistakes, then High Coast have that eventual kind of scalability. So if you hit the black holes, then that game could be theirs. But for Nigma, they're the ones that can secure every objective early on for them.
They also have one of my favorite combinations. We have one core that's really sticky. You don't really want to invade a Venomancer's lane. He's just going to exist there, be really tanky and slow, but it doesn't matter. His two cores can play really fast and mobile around the map. So if you win both side lanes, suddenly Weehaw can go to either lane and find success. So it's going to be about controlling tempo, the pace of the game, and slowly whittle down have better 5-on-5.
All right, well, can't wait to see who is going to take the first game of the series. It's time to head over to a commentary team of Cat and Fog.
Such a limited imagination you have.
John Milton said, where room for hope, there is also no room for fear. And that is something that is possibly an advantage for High Coast. They may not have anything this series, but Fog, they also have nothing to lose.
That's true, and they could just ruin Nigma quite effectively in this entire standings of the tournament if they do end up getting some big wins here. So I'm really excited for this matchup. This should be fun. I do like quite a bit what Nigma has. I think they have one of the stronger level 1s that I've seen, so I actually want to see them like go fight, go hunt. This like Earthshaker and Venomancer used to be known as one of the most potent level 1 combos because you just do Fissure, you get a multi-hero Gale, you're gonna kill everything. You don't want to skill the Gale, but if you see an opportunity, you might go for it. But we're gonna see how they end up doing their lanes as well. I'm thinking we might get some type of like aggro or something from Nigma just to set themselves up for a good start in this game, because they do have that really strong like laning phase start versus what High Coast has.
Yeah, their lineup definitely looks a bit peculiar, but one thing that doesn't seem to go out of style is mind control on some abusive offlaners, and this seems like a bit of a change for me when it comes to Nigma of some of their recent performance. I've been a little disappointed with mind control lately. I don't know how you feel about it, Fogged, but I wonder how them putting him on a stronger laning hero is something to perhaps offset that.
Yeah, I think so too. He's just been struggling a bit. You know, it's been happening for a bunch of players. It's just getting back into the groove of things. And now he actually gets picked this very good matchup, right? He's got Ben over Ursa, so that's going to be great.
He leveled Poison Sting.
Yeah.
And now he's been disrupted, so he's going to start off with a bit more damage done than he'd like.
That's a bit painful. And this is actually something neat. Look at GH's starting item. Starts with a Wraith Band on the IO. That's a first for me.
Yeah. So I guess he's just we used to see, I think like it was maybe a month or two ago, we used to see some people pick up Wraith Band because they thought it was the most valuable of all of these stat items now because of the 1.5 armor, right?
Yeah, especially on like the strength heroes, right? I saw Clockworks buying it all the time. So hey, it could be something similar, you know, a little bit of extra attack speed, some armor and all that for you to be able to kill off some Eidolons. Sure. Rather than going for Bracer. We used to see a lot of Bracer just for the HP regen, but hey, a little bit of variety is Jip bottom.
Take a lot of damage and will probably be run down here unless he could somehow juke his way out. If he shows his way out of the trees, he's definitely dead. He gets one last disruption off, so that might actually do some more. Zime's really juking this one nicely. The Fissure. Oh, he missed it. He juked upwards. Now he's going to turn around and kill Mind Control. Oh, no way, Zime. A big juke and a turnaround first blood kill for Charlie.
I thought 100% he was dead, and now he's going to be able to get the side pull off of it too. A little chain reaction effect from him surviving. Beautiful stuff coming out from Jibbe playing the tree line. And I mean, off the mark completely. Kuroki just not getting the read with the Fissure.
Yeah, he pump faked it too, and that hesitation probably cost him the kill as a result. And yeah, I mean, you said it. They got pull off as a result. He's going to threaten another pull, which Kuro will interrupt.
Oh, Jibbe's getting hit pretty hard, but he's got backup, and now Kuro, he'll be fine. Charlie doesn't want to actually chase him down because he might just TP out if he does go for any play over there, and then he wastes a lot of time.
Watch that again. Zibbe. Oh, you could see he was gonna Fissure. He had him. And then Zibbe does manage to go up and gets his healing self-cancel, but it doesn't matter. He does finally die. His mind control made his way over, but still, the damage has already been done. Charlie's gonna get pretty fast level 3 wave under.
Yeah, and them getting that side pull is huge, right? Look at my control's lasted. He's got 3 down here versus the 10-5 of the Ursa just because of that start. And now Jibbe, he dies, but respawns, brings the items for the Ursa to have a better laning phase. And this will probably continue. I mean, Charlie, this is going to be a good start for him versus these two. If my control doesn't fix this in the next few moments, he's actually at risk of always not just sitting down bottom. So Kuro, he's going to fix a little bit of this lane. He's going to start pulling and moving it around and just fixing the equilibrium as top is getting dove. I saw they went for the swarm at level 2, so just really trying to apply the pressure, getting those eidolons, and just really diving Chessie.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is something that I think teams, we've seen them get a lot better at, is remembering how to pressure off lane Enigma, right? It's been a while since its hero was really meta. This patch, it's really come into vogue and is a big hero. And people just kind of got to remember how it is you deal with this here. Can't be very passive. You got to be active. You got to actively hunt down his eidolons and maybe even actively hunt down the hero himself. As another pause is going to come out. They're going to be underneath the tower when Era arrives with this charge. We'll see whether or not Chessie can live.
Did the tower switch to him? It did, right?
I think so, yeah.
Switching to Miracle. Okay, so I think maybe they might still be able to get it. He has the bug only for one more hit. They might still be able to dive because Shukuchi's up in a second. So still likely to get the kill unless Era gets like some phenomenal bashes.
So what do you do with Chessie here? Like, do you accept that you might be traded out for the Weaver and try and kill him? Or are you going to get that bug off and try and...
Ooh, it's a tough question because like the tower's on him, but they have the tether heal. Io's not eating a tango. Ooh, it's tough.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a clear answer if GH like had a healing salve or something in his back pocket. Like, okay, killing Miracle would be really... They have a chance here. Chessie deals with the bug. Era's going to chase away the Weaver. The Weaver does get very low, but barely outside of tower range before the charge was complete.
Nice from Era, getting that a little extra bash too. And they'll actually have to back away, and Chessie will be able to keep himself here and heal up a little. So that actually hurts quite a bit of their effective regen up there for the side of Nigma. And Chessie will be able to keep himself up here, and we'll see what Era does in the next few moments. So he's spotting out some couriers, but he can't get to them. And GH will pull the lane back, or attempt to pull the lane back.
So Venomancer has actually been on my list of like one of those winning heroes right now. I feel pretty strong about, and I played this matchup a lot. The Ursa feels like people really like to look at it as a potential counter to Venomancer, but it is definitely a lane that goes one way or the other, right? You're either going to get really hardcore abused as the Ursa by Venomancer, or if you get that fast set of phase boots, then you can pressure the Veno a lot.
Yeah, and my control is he's got to get left, right? Kuroki's going to go check the rune, so every time he gets left, he has to walk completely away from the wave.
Ooh, fortunately, Dissimulate was popped at the right time, but he may not still live, especially if it was a bash. Oh, the Fairy Fire might have helped him live, but a bash comes through from Era.
Very fortunate that Death Prophet Siphon also follows post-dissimulate, so they're able to stick on him pretty easily there. And hey, my control continued to get pushed away from the lane, so level 3 on the Veno. His effectiveness will still be there versus Ursa for the most part, but having an under-leveled Venomancer will not be something that Nigma does want. They really are about that early aggression on their lineup, and if they start getting stalled too much, I feel like that's just playing into high coast. Miracle. It charged up. They have a sentry too.
Shukuchi lasting just long enough to get him back into the trees. But even just keeping him low should be able to secure the 5-minute bounty runes coming up for them. Start making his way over. Looking like a 2-2 split as Nigma have the bottom lane well controlled.
I like that I'm seeing a lot of these like the Enigma picks, and then you guys have a hero that can leave the lane easily, these Spirit Breakers and Earth Spirits. This game, of course, Spirit Breaker very appropriate versus Weaver. So watching Era have some decent freedom because he has that Enigma up there, Chessie able to hold his own. Kuro just has to handhold my control a little bit more. He still only has 8 last hits.
Yeah, it's Charlie has been really good at keeping up the denies, and his boots plus windlace has given him enough that my control doesn't feel really like he doesn't feel in control. He doesn't feel like he can go on the offensive and shove this Ursa out. Fear of being potentially so.
And there's already the phase boots now on Charlie, so my control is at risk of dying constantly in this lane now. If he does make any slip-ups, if he doesn't have Kuroki at his sides, this will be a dead Venomancer in most situations. And yeah, phase boot, windlace, 408 movement speed when he is popping that.
Yeah,
345 on the Veno.
He's managed to have such a successful CS laning phase for the Ursa, and has been given solo experience for the most part. He's gonna have level 6 so soon.
Yeah, they've somehow successfully just owned this bottom lane just because of that whole level 1 and just getting a couple extra pulls off. It's really messed up Nigma's Nigma's want what they wanted down here, because like Kuroki's had to check bottom rune too for Weehaw because he was struggling a little bit, so they've had to move around, and it's definitely hurt my control a sufficient amount. Look at Chessie, he's almost level 6 too.
Yeah.
This Venomancer is quite behind.
Let's manage to get the read on Weehaw. Charge was there as he walked underneath the ward. As a result, Exorcism is out. I can hear the ghosts going away. They're going on to Kuro right now. He's going to go ahead and throw out the Fisher, see if he can survive, but he's going to be chased down most likely. Back over to the mid lane with Siege Wagon push and Exorcism out. This is feeling like Weehaw's rotation up to top lane. I'm not sure if it was the right time for him to do something like this, because Supreme might just take this tower in its entirety.
Get the whole tower? He actually might. He's standing right up against it too. It's in deny range, but he has to be a little careful. So if they want to deny it, Nigma will, and they will immediately.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower
This is really good pressure coming out from High Coast. Like, my control was forced to TP out bottom. They killed Kuroki. They end up swinging mid, getting the tower too because of Weehaw's rotation. This is just great stuff right now for them, and they're even applying pressure onto Weehaw afterwards here with Supreme sticking around in the lane. Now Supreme's got, World is oyster. Pick and choose what lane he wants to go to pressure next. Likely to be that top lane.
Oh no!
Weaver. Oh no! Miracle.
Double Centaur stomps. Miracle gets the bugs out, but I feel like if I'm going anywhere in Supreme, I'm going top. But I see this stack.
Yeah. Weehaw has to Weehaw's coming up here too. This stack needs to be farmed. Like, Nigma does not want to give this one away.
No, they don't. The Eidolons are currently doing it right now, so they got to get aggressive. Weehaw. Oh, Centaur stomp onto the Enigma, but the charge is going to come out, force out the dissimulate. Weehaw getting aggressive. Oh, a whip there on the black hole. Chessie keeps it going. Some sort of vain hope that somebody will walk back in, but no. At least they do control this this camp stack. It will be theirs, even if they failed out on the.
A swing and a miss. He was hoping, he was hoping the Shikuchi would go back through. Miracle was patient, though. He sat back. He at least still has his book 1 done and still good pressure and still really good things coming out from High Coast. My control does get some space, but Charlie's already got a broadsword, too. This is...
Whoa. Miracle, jeez. That was wildly aggressive there for a moment. And GH?
And GH is going to pay for it.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, Miracle had it out. So he could pop his ultimate, which he did, but... I'm not sure if that move made a whole lot of sense. I'm not going on with Nigma, right? But it feels like some uncharacteristic mistakes being made by them.
Yeah, and their lineup is about, getting ahead and staying ahead in this early game. You don't want to start getting behind versus this Ursa and Enigma draft. And, your one position, your Weaver, is countered in a lot of different ways. There's a Spirit Breaker in the game. There's a Death Prophet Silence. There's a couple annoying things. Sure, there's not crazy amount of stuns and control, but those usually tend to be quite enough, especially just the Spirit Breaker. And now they're even applying pressure on the tower, too. This is 2 towers already taken by High Coast in this early game.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under
Nigma's going to start breaking the lanes and start causing some chaos. They're getting some good space from my control bottom, so he can start applying pressure on this tower, but yeah, they have to start just moving around on this Weaver and Io and trying to just pick off the squishy supports, the Shadow Demon in particular.
Meanwhile, High Coast... I always kind of like this play whenever you've got these really annoying offlaners, these Timber Saws. Venomancer's a good example. Like, instead of fighting into them, which is kind of what they want, just letting that tower go and getting aggressive somewhere else, and this is where they can get aggressive onto Supreme. Disruption is only going to buy him a little bit of time here. The charge is going to come through. That allows Supreme to be able to get a lot of Spirit Siphons off, and that ultimate from Miracle didn't actually get him away from that. The Spirit Siphon keeps him up, and Supreme, that half health, is going to start turning things around. And Charlie, he's going for the kill onto the IO. Won't be able to get him, but Weehaw, he does not have any jumps away, so Zibe is going to run him down with the poison. What a huge turn as Era comes in on the clutch timing there with the charge.
Clutch timing from both supports. Zibe gets the disruption right after the first siphon goes off, so the siphon continues during disruption, and that actually is the thing to keep him alive. That little bit of extra region that goes during that disruption, and then yeah, perfect charge from Era coming through. Good connection from High Coast bringing the squad. They brought all 5 to battle because they know how this early game is going. They know how strong the Ursa is. It's given a lot of space to Mind Control, though. He is completely caught up. He's top net worth for his team. And he is going to be building toward that rush of a Yule. So he will have the thing to address that Ursa in a lot of the mid-game team fights.
Good read by Zibe, or probably the call out there from Era. As he charged through, the Venomancer started changing his positioning, so they knew there was a ward up there. check for a second one inside of their jungle. They're going to place that one. That's going to be spotted and potentially really punished by Weehaw as he attempts to go for the kill. But Zibe, he's level 6 here. Weehaw, he's got to be careful in his aggression. He's going in deep. He's going to get purged up. The ultimate, it's going to come out soon from Era, but they do have the relocate. He's got backup. That's going to come in from Miracle. Both the supports going to die pretty fast on the side of High Coast, but Kuro's already dead. Supreme, he is strong. Can they actually help him out here? The silence is going to go down as the relocate back happens, so they weren't able to focus down Charlie the way they wanted to.
This is how they need to start collapsing. They need to start causing this chaos. They can't let High Coast just sit back and get this farm. I like that they just use that relocate, force the issue, just get something on the map. They lose Kuro, but I think they have to start making these kind of moves. They can't just let Charlie do Ursa things and just get Battle Fury freely and just sit back and keep farming for the next items. Have to apply this pressure with Weaver IO.
Fastest tier 1 mid tower kill in the EU DPC. It goes to show. High Coast. They got themselves one hell of a boon nice and early thanks to Supreme's domination of the mid lane.
Death Prophet overall as a hero is just insane right now. The few series that I have seen it been played even as 5 position, but the few where I see it as a good mid lane, just a good role for it in this one, it just does so much. You don't even need the exorcism a lot of the times it feels, but it just puts so much pressure on the enemy mid laner.
Make a move.
We'll clean up that warrior. Get a little bit of extra gold from the Necro Book.
Weehaw coming in with his Invis rune to the top lane.
He's under a sentry.
Spotted by Sentry Jesse. Okay, he looks out. The range group's going up. Whatever he'll do. Go for the black hole. The trap has been sprung and set. Caught a Weehaw. He dies.
Ooh, he is really starting to fall behind. 0-3-1 right now on Weehaw. He's got the max Dissimulate build too, just for like the big farming kind of style, and yeah, he's died a couple of times now. That one a bit unfortunate. He's under the sentry, but as Era, immediately when they get a kill, he's looking to get active again, charge across the map. Very good versus that Veno and Weaver. My control. Can they actually set up an extra gank for him? They cannot.
I actually think this is a very underrated aspect of Spirit Breaker, is that he can play BSJ's quote-unquote dead lane, the hard lane to be in, right? The safe lane, playing around the tier 2 without losing. It's not like the enemy team sees the Spirit Breaker bottom and goes, oh, guys, they're 4 versus 5. We can get aggressive on the other side of the map or something. It's a support that has a very unique mechanic that allows him to be able to be in front of certain towers that are out of position, but still be there for the team.
I love that it lets you set up and save the fast TP for your teammates. That's the biggest thing for me. Yeah. It always lets the 3-second TP on the front line. Make a miracle. Dive it in.
Zibe, he's definitely going to be dying here, but GH is going to get low, ulted up by Era. They need a little bit more, but he's so fast because of the Shukuchi, as now they're looking to be able to force Charlie. Actually, he's already used his ultimate, so never mind. He's just going to die. Exorcism will clean up on Kuro. Does Supreme feel good enough to run into these 3? Doesn't look like it, especially since Mind Control's here as well. Doesn't actually clip him there as he throws out the Gale, but they can try and pressure this 1 mid tower.
He might need something like a hood or any type of magic protection as Supreme. There's actually a ton of damage coming out from Weaver with Maelstrom, with IO. The fact that Overcharge gives you Spell Lamp, it actually is an insane amount of damage that does come out as Jesse top. The relocate catches him off guard.
Yeah, this is something that is kind of awkward. This relocate against an offlaner that likes to remain kind of static in a lane, right? Venomancer and Enigma are very similar in that regard. They want to occupy and own an area of the map, but relocate makes the game a lot harder for you.
A golden thread.
Yeah, Jesse's gonna have to be a lot more careful of how he shows in the lane. Maybe just having the Eidolons and the Necro Book shove rather than actually showing his hero when he does stuff like that. Because yeah, you're gonna get set up by like a fissure and a relocate almost every time. Now Jive also a bit out of position.
Yeah, he tried to get a very aggressive laning ward out, but sadly, that is very likely, I think, to be denied right away. Just they know he was out here for a reason, and they got it.
Nigma's really starting to apply that pressure and cause the chaos. We still see High Coast. They're keeping maintained, keeping their
Malphite still into the charge, into the ultimate as well. He was trying to hold it out until the Malphite stuns ran its course, but they controlled him a little bit longer. Maybe the Death Prophet could have been there with the silence, and we could have had a kill. Supreme does now have the Eul's Scepter, so he's got some defense.
Okay, they'll just actually force that rush. They don't have Exorcism at the moment, so this will give them a little bit of blanket window until they do have that, 25 seconds, and Nigma won't make it there in time. They're just gonna get their own farm. And they've caused a lot of chaos, you know, after that little bit of a shaky kind of laning phase, they've evened things out. They're actually the ones bouncing back between the net worth lead and experience lead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now we do have Exorcism back up, Black Hole up, and Book 3 finished for High Coast. So some really big item timings all coming together. Nigma really pressing the issue on bottom, trying to get this tier 2 early. It's going to be reactions now, though. We see High Coast setting up. Nigma's all in the area, though.
Once they're going to go into their safe lane and try and force a team fight with this smoke, and they're going to manage to catch the Void Spear with the Yule Scepter into the silence, and now looks like Weaver's been put in the hole as well, and he's not going to be given an escape. GH too late for that one, and even the relocate out is not successful thanks to the disruption from Zibe.
This time, Chessie makes up for the whiff. Black Hole catches the perfect one. Weehaw just again getting caught out. Yule's into a silence, and then they have the Book through sticking on him. He's just quickly dead as Nigma gets pushed out of the jungle very easily. And they didn't have to pop Exorcism too, so it's just that Black Hole. So for next fight, High Coast can definitely look for it. And we see that again, yeah, just he's spotted. He just gets completely controlled, and Miracle just walks up a bit too close.
GH, I mean, level 1 relocate takes some serious time, and that Weaver, as soon as he's controlled, Charlie can just 100-0 him in like 2 seconds. This GH, I'm not sure what moment that eyebrow movement was for. That was, I'm guessing, Miracle getting caught in the black hole.
Yeah, more than likely. I don't think they were prepared for that quick setup there. Like, Weehaw just walks in, Kuroki's not ready. GH just is not ready to bail them out, and a big hit from High Coast. That's with the Aegis, you know, they're gonna have this all this time here to just like sit back, farm, finish up BKB on Ursa. This is looking pretty damn good for High Coast, especially with like the hero matchups that they do have. Sure, Weaver is good in a way versus the lack of control, but just the fact that their Spirit Breaker really just is gonna make it so hard. It's gonna make it so difficult for the Weaver because of how good of a game Ara's having too. He's already halfway to Ags. So these charges, like the movement speed will be able to match and catch up to the Weaver, and just that cooldown, it goes down to 7 seconds. He's gonna have it real early.
Reminder to those at home who haven't kept total track of the EU DPC, this is a match that doesn't have any impact for High Coast Esports. They've already been eliminated as the team who is currently 1-5. But it does have serious implications for Nigma, who are currently 3-3. And if they win this, then they're some sort of tiebreaker in the 3rd or maybe even 2nd spot. But if they go and lose this series, then they still have a potential of being 3-4 and having it for the 4th slot, which is still a wild card slot to the mate.
And it's definitely feeling a bit scary for Team Nigma right now with their lineup. The fact that High Coast lineup, they scale better. You know, the later the game goes, it's just amazing for Ursa and Nigma, for Death Prophet. These heroes are going to get really strong, and they have, like, you know, the support duo is also quite strong. Nigma's got to start fixing things together. They have to start causing more chaos. Got to start getting better angles of approach and just being prepared for those setups. They almost do have the blink on Kuroki, which will make things a lot easier because they don't really have great forms of starting the fights, especially with Weehaw struggling so much. He's so poor on this Void Spirit, they're going to need a big blink Echo Slam to bring things back.
Speaking of which, where was Kuro when that black hole went down?
He was all the way so far on the right. Like, he immediately started running away. I don't think he could get there in time. It really caught them totally off guard.
Well, this is, they're gonna have to hit that Blink Dagger timing really hard. They're gonna have the Yule Scepter for the Venomancer, but it's concerning, right? Because the Battle Fury Ursa, from my experience, man, this hero turns into a serious late game beast.
And he's already got the items to kind of counteract it. But he has Basher already at this point. Miracle.
Oh, if he got a bash there, they might have been able to get the kill. Supreme pushed on the wrong side of the Fissure here. Is in an awkward space. He's still got the Yule Scepter and Spirit Sight. He's just going to pop it now to be able to dodge the Sim like Charlie takes that hit instead. He still has the Aegis and the disruption. He's out there to be able to buy Supreme a little bit more time. Again, a charge comes through. Supreme, is he going to be able to get away? Hiding inside the trees. Spirit Siphon goes out immediately. Miracle pops that ultimate in order to break the Spirit Siphon. Still hoping to be able to chase down Supreme. But now, an ultimate from Era on silence of Fissure, but this he's on the right side of it as he holds his ground. The Spirits come back. He ends up. Weehaw's going to go down. Another Eul Scepter, buying him a little bit more time. A silence goes out to the team. Kuro comes in with a big echo. That's going to take out Zibe, but Charlie back into it. Almost taking the Venomancer down. Oh no, he didn't get the kill before he died. He'll come back for a second life, but Era's low on health, and with a 1 versus 4, he's going to get kited around heavily. Charlie doesn't stand a chance on his second life. He does go down. The Blink Dagger's picked up by Kuro now, as Nigma finally start getting into the swing of things.
What a like team fight winning fissure just to start everything off. It puts Supreme in such an awkward position. They all have to walk up and just kind of bail him out. It puts the rest of them all in this weird position. The Spirits come back in at a perfect time, but they can't quite clean up Miracle. The heals coming out from GH, a bit too much. Really huge fight, a big outplay fight from Team Nigma there, setting up perfectly. And now Blink is there for Kuro, so he somehow walked in and got a pretty good Echo Slam in the midst of all that chaos, but it all started off with that just gorgeous vision by him.
A haste rune for Kuro, while the Weaver is pressuring and does take that top tower. Getting a nice bit of tier 2 items. SNY complete for Miracle now as well.
Look, I guess this is the solution for the Ursa to have a matchup against him, and I guess also that Nigma have a BKB solution for Level. He's gonna build Asher into this on Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a BKB piercing disable, so they're eventually going to need that a bit.
Yeah, I kind of like it. And then also, if like he gets situations where he bashes the Ursa, if he's fighting him straight up, right? I mean, that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but like you can see the reasons why he'd want. Like, what else do you itemize? You'd have to go for like Butterfly or Scotty, kiting him out. I can see the reasons why he could go for this.
Oh boy! Just, I don't know, man. I find that IO Weaver is like one of the most ridiculous looking combos in the game right now. Now that Tether allows you to match the movement speed, look at him, he's whipping Miracle, and then Shikuchi, he's just zooming across the map.
It's like when we had that phase of Bloodseeker IO every game in the offlane. I don't know if you were playing pubs there again, and it was just like, Jesus, they're just 1,000 movement speed the whole laning phase.
866 movement speed.
And now GH has a Vessel finished up, so Death Prophet, Supreme, he's gonna need that BKB for the next upcoming fight too. And Nigma has really just halted all of High Coast advantages. Miracle takes the top down, and he's just swinging from tower to tower. You know, that movement speed, that mobility coming into play.
So High Coast are taking this last team fight, and what they're saying is, okay guys, in order to win the next team fight engagement, we need BKB. They're conceding a lot of ground and just trying to find farm where they can. BKB for the Death Prophet, BKB being built up for the Ursa, as well as he was obviously tied quite heavily, but hey, you gotta watch out for this Weaver plus IO combination. Not only do they have the global capabilities of relocate, but near global as they just zoom around the map together.
It really is. It is quite ridiculous, absolutely. And with that SNY too, I mean, this is the most common pickup now on all these carries, but it works really well for Silence. You're gonna see it a couple times there, him versus that Death Prophet. I mean, this speed is so ridiculous. Like, they literally can just set up for the towers so fast. They just swing across the map.
I'm curious, Bug. What do you think about the fact that we don't have like a big late game status resistance item? Are you okay with that? I'm kind of okay with that.
Radiant's
I would like to see it removed from SNY, I'll be totally honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. That's an old school Dota player thing, yeah.
Well, just like the fact that you see people go back for SNY as like a 4th item just feels so weird, but you know, it works so well with a lot of these cards. Terra, they'll just swoop right in and assassinate them on the high ground. High Coast, like you mentioned, they want to just farm these. They're sacrificing a lot of ground.
Yeah, Arrow was positioned to break a smoke, but you know, he did break that smoke. The problem is Nigma literally moves so fast, they're able to catch more people all the time as they're able to get Zibe on top of that. Fortunately, all the cores do escape. Kind of what they're still.
And they get the scan too, the successful scan up on top on Chessie. Needs to be careful.
Forward. Chessie.
He's gonna get relocated on.
No, yeah. Oh, he's gonna go for the black hole right away with the midnight pulse. Oh, thank goodness Weeha's here. That could have been disastrous. I'm surprised he didn't go for the TP out right away. Oh, never mind. There's Jules on mind control. I forgot.
he is in a rough spot as soon as he gets spotted up there. And Icos has to be more careful with how they're split up. This Nigma, you know, the mobility is really getting to them. Even though they're the ones with Spirit Breaker, they're not able to match this movements. And now Night Basher's finished up after that SY very quickly.
GH are gonna go and try and get a fast kill onto him. The Weaver's here joining up, but Air's gonna be able to pick up that Invis rune. Might need a little bit more damage to finish off GH. He's burning, but meanwhile Supreme has been left behind. The Yule Scepter's right before the Fissure, but he's surrounded. He's gonna pop his BKB. Spirit Siphon on out. He's healing a lot. GH is still alive, but Air is still trying to track him down. Can he actually get him? Curl jumps in and bails out GH with a big enchant totem hit to stall up Era. GH is just too strong, apparently. He's just a little bit too tanky every time.
Cap, they used Exorcism, and now they have to run away from the fight. They also used... Oh my god. Nigma's just gonna run away with the next 2 minutes or so. They're just gonna keep running at them. Don't let them get any space. They've got no damage. They've got no team fight. And they've kept Echo Slam through all of this. Kuroki patiently holding on to it. So they can just keep hunting, keep swinging around, keep looking for kills. Icos really crumbling and falling apart after that top fight.
Yeah, Charlie, there's still a full recipe away from that BKB on him. It almost feels like it's one of those things where they realize what they need a bit too late into the game. And now
they probably just felt they were really strong around that top side. And I feel like they just, like Kuroki just ruined them with a Fissure about the whole thing that they wanted. They got forced into a fight maybe that they didn't want because they were, like Ursa's Bastion was flying out of the courier as that whole fight happened.
All right, nice kill. Okay. Weehaw.
Not bad.
Not sure how he initially got caught there, but big pickup. Is that Era's, sorry, did he have an Aghanim Scepter? Is that what he's almost got?
Yeah, Era's been 2 parts of it. He's at the third part now. Needs one more.
Okay.
So it'll be nice. It'll be really good if he's able to get that versus the Weaver.
Yeah, certainly.
However, they have lost so much map control farm for these BKBs.
First hit bash, that'll do it to you.
Is that what caught Weehaw?
Yeah. They just crashed into each other and immediately he got bashed up and there. Not much he can really do. And as a result of that kill, Charlie's been able to get pushed out, get some creeps. He's almost there to his BKB. This game significantly changes if they can actually get all 3 of their BKBs online because like the strength of these heroes amps up so much. If the Ursa isn't being kited, if the Enigma has the threat of the BKB black hole, I mean, a lot changing.
Yeah, still worried about him being able to stick on targets because the thing is, like, he's got the BKB, but versus Venom. So if they don't remove Mind Control from the fight immediately, Charlie is still going to get quite kited. They have to be able to get on a target and stick on them, and they don't really have the best options. Like, it really is just the BKB black hole for them to get on someone and kill them. But a lot of different ways for Nigma to play around that one with relocates and having the Abyssal Blade on the Weaver. So it doesn't look like it's going to be easy for High Coast.
Every Ursa lineup needs its Roshan. Enigmas, they're currently trying to take that Roshan away. It's Mind Control just kind of jumps in, drops the ultimate immediately. In these last few seconds of Roche, they're looking to be able to take in and High Coast going in. They managed to get the agent flush. This could be potentially bad team by BKB. Black hole going out, only catching one ball. Oh, Miracle got bumped into it by Era. He paused his ultimate, but he was already low. He's going to have to fight through on a second light. Charlie, his BKB is wearing out soon as the jump in from Weehaw relocate out over to the side. They actually go away. They're going back in because they know Charlie doesn't have the BKB anymore. The Exorcism low. The stun up is doing so much damage. Miracle behind the cheese though. He pops that immediately. He's going to get bumped back by, they relocate back over to the other side of the pit. And they're going to be back in the fight soon, but they may not even need him. Simi's going to go for the last second disruption and TP out, but that is denied by Weehaw. Gets the old scepter on him. Turn back over to Supreme, but obviously his Exorcism is gone. No more damage left in the tank, and Nigma, they take the Roshan, they win the fight.
They have to use 2 buybacks for it, but well worth it. They just show up and make sure that they can bail out Miracle. What looked like could have been a dangerous spot for a second there, and that's like one of the most important fights of this game. Securing that Roche, getting themselves the cheese as well. Miracle able to pop that one and survive throughout it, and now he's got Abyssal, so they've got ways to solve that BKB black hole after it did some decent damage in the fight. And now up to the high ground, they're actually looking for more. It's 3 are dead.
Yeah, they might as well just keep pushing that advantage. As I'm fairly certain. Oh, never mind. Yeah, he doesn't have his BKB just yet. I mean, just imagine. Remember when Chessie just kind of like threw out the Midnight Pulse? Imagine if he's got BKB. And like, if he was just a little bit more farmed. He had a BKB there, but he just rolls up inside of the pit. and they kind of win Roshan. There's no contest at that point.
He had to be a little bit more patient with it. He only is able to get the one. Miracle gets bashed into it, but yeah, he could have just like literally walked freely into it and gotten the perfect situation for it. Weehaw played this fight really well. He danced on the sides really nicely and kept getting these controls for that. So that Miracle and GH can just keep positioning themselves perfectly for the fight. Some really nice, clever mini relocates. And I'll just swinging and moving that positioning of the fight to the high ground and just getting Miracle in position to carry. Yeah. Got Abyssal. Huge now.
High Coast's entire idea of team fights is that they have to be able to like bring people down 100-0, right? They're very committed. The big black hole, but if Nigma stretch out the team fight, the longer it goes, more likely they are to win it. Abyssal Blitz going out. Oh, but the Weaver is overwhelmed as the enraged Charlie just shakes off that disable. He doesn't chase for more though. They still give enough respect to Nigma on this high ground that they even in a 4 versus 4 with no Weaver, they are still going to back away.
It's a huge kill. Like Charlie gets that one, he's able to back away, and he can just finish up his look to finish up his next item if he'd like to, which is, I guess it's gonna be that Abyssal. I guess you just can't go for Blinked Anger, unfortunately, because you are versus Veno. I want easier ways for them to get into the back lines, because it's really just the Spirit Breaker who can right now on High Coast. And these supports, they're still doing a number on Nigma. Even though Kuroki did die, so did My Control in the last fight, they're doing their job. They're getting all their spells off back there.
Now, Fog, do you think that Nigma is on a timer to end the game, or are you okay with the way that their heroes scale?
I think I'm okay with the way that their heroes scale, just because of the fact that they have this IO with the Weaver. It just makes him that much stronger. If it was just a Weaver with no actual steroid, then I'd be a little more worried. But the fact that IO just makes you a monster, you know, Overcharge is a whole different mechanic in its own of what it can do. So that for that reason, I don't mind them going later.
In which case, if they do go later into the game, like their biggest threat is going to be just dealing with that black hole. That is sort of an anti-carry measure that High Coast has. A Fissure not going to be on the mark as Charlie's able to pop himself a little bit farther away. Good for now. Zibe, he now has an Ether Lens, so better opportunity for him in disruption so far.
Yeah, I'm just worried about them on High Coast ever being able to actually control Miracle enough. I feel like they have to throw absolutely everything onto him in all these fights to actually kill him. The last one, you know, he got a bit unfortunate because of the positioning, and he just, you know, he dropped out of Shikuchi for killing the Shadow Demon and then just gets bashed. But most of these situations, he's got so much backup. Like this High Coast, they have to try to assassinate GH at the start of the fights. They tried last time, but he is really durable with this mech medallion vessel. But they have to take care of him because he's making Miracle do too much in the fights. With the mobility, the damage, everything from Overcharge.
They're a little bit split right now, but Nigma, instead of going for a 5-man push into the triangle, they might be... I thought maybe they were just going to go for a fast push into bottom lane. Maybe they're waiting for Charlie to actually show himself, and show himself he does. They start on clean up, immediately get the disable on and throw every single disable they have in the book right at Charlie to make sure no chance of BKB, no chance of the enrage.
And that's 70 seconds. That was a good read by them. They had the catapult wave pushing in. They knew that all High Coast was set up top. They just waited for that perfect swing. And now look at the damage. Era just gets completely eviscerated by Miracle's DD. And now to the high ground. He's got the Orb of Destruction, so they're going to push at a pretty fast pace with this DD too.
High Coast, how do you defend this? Are you going to give up the lane entirely? Are you going to half defend and poke?
They used the demonic surge there on the Weaver, but it's a Weaver. He doesn't care. My Control just jumps in, gets that poison over on all 3 of the heroes here.
They're still hoping to be able to defend it, seems, but if they have to defend like this, if they lose some of their heroes, BKB going to be forced to use by Chessie. Kind of starts that board, but he can't do anything now. Now, yeah, as you said, with BKB down, there's no hope of getting a black hole with the Ursa stuff.
No, they're just gonna let this one go. Gotta be careful not to lose anybody too. Nigma's gonna back away, get this big advantage. 11K. Everyone gets a huge injection of gold as we see multiple solutions now being prepared for that Enigma BKB. Even Weeha's queuing up the Bastion and the Abyssal Blade. They've got a Wind Waker about to be finished onto My Control, so lots of different ways to protect teammates and just to stop the fight.
No, I'm
Nigma's
excited to
very
see the Wind Waker, man. That is like, that item, hard to get, right? Because it's so expensive, but it is a hard counter to the big team fight abilities of like Black Hole and Chronosphere.
Yeah, you just Wind Waker your team and you just of it in the funniest way possible.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen 2 Wind Wakers. I got to see one yesterday, only for a couple seconds.
Uh-oh, he's been silenced. Abyssal Blade back to be able to stop the Earth, and now the follow-up disables. Now he's going to pop his ultimate, but he's already been charged. Now the Black Hole, Weeha's got it as well. He jumps right in, headlong into the darkness. And now GH, he's going to be pulled back in by a relocate. Nigma, a fatal error there perhaps, as they're going to lose 3.
That was maybe a little bit of an awkward time lapse, putting.
Oh no! Wait!
Right into it. Did he actually just get out?
GH just got out. Kuro, he's got his blink up. Oh,
no way!
No way! Are both supports gonna get out of this? All right, he's been charged. See if he can hit. No. Oh, Era's in chase.
Kuro instantly gets a D ward because he saw that charge too. Well, he knows where there is a ward. Puts on the sentry. Nice, no hesitation by Chessie. Gets the Black Hole and we hop. A little bit unfortunate for him. He blinked. He jumped right into it. He astral stepped literally as it was about to get casted, as we'll see this one again. Miracle. Maybe not the time lapse he expected, but Era was prepared with the charge and wham. Very nicely done.
Yeah, this Spirit Breaker is really showing how good it is versus Weaver, because Weaver's stuck in this position of, do I hold my time lapse until after the charge hits me, but I could potentially be chain stunned down, or do I pop it beforehand, but the disable's going to connect with me after on my second, second
Charlie has been killed.
Uh-oh. Charlie in trouble? What is Charlie doing down here? He's got his BKB. He's going to have to use it soon as he pops the Enrage first. And now he's just dead. Why, though?
And my control just dances on him with the Wind Waker.
I mean, I felt like Heiko's just got a big win under their belts, and then all of a sudden it just kind of gets thrown away.
Yeah, and I mean, now they don't have, they don't have Black Hole for 50 seconds or Exorcism. So Nigma, with that kill, they effectively are playing only versus like 3 heroes. They can just go hard, jump onto anybody they see, and just take out these buildings. Heikos has to be very careful these next 50 seconds not to give up too much.
Yeah, Sibe, he's going to be forced to buy back here. He spots the ward high ground, but it does get him killed in the process. They can slow this down. 35 seconds. Melee Necronomicon unit going down. Supreme. He's got to be careful these chain disables. Weeha's going to be forced to use another astral step there because it's Fisher block.
Look at all the buffs on Miracle that they're putting on him. This Polar Crest, the bullwhip.
Supreme, okay, they're going to bump it back, and they got to be careful with this burst damage there. That was a lot, especially thanks to the Soul Catcher adding a big burst of damage. Can't actually bring him down.
That's gonna spook Nigma a bit to back away.
Yeah.
Ursa's gonna be respawning too. Ultimates are all coming back up, and yep, they see the Roche spawning. Can they kill this fast enough? It's got the cheese and that refresher shard.
The 5-band smoke up from Heikos. They can get here in time, I think.
They've got the blink as well on the Enigma, so they've got great ways to fight. Everything's up for them. Can they get the catch? They've got a ward too, actually in good position, watching Weeha and Kuroki.
All eyes on Chessie here, seeing if they can get the right kind of initiation. They've already lit up perfectly. Pick off onto Kuro. That team fighter's down. Now it's Silence to be able to follow up onto the Weaver. He's immediately being stunned up here. I think that was the Wind Waker used on him. Miracle's going to be backing away, but now that means they're all going to be able to lay out the Black Hole, and here comes GH. He goes in for a potential relocate heal save here, but the Black Hole's just going to hit the 2 of them. Buyback on the Earthshaker, but there's no buyback on our Weaver or our IO. Heikos, they can take this and build for more now as they're unable to get Weehaw, but they can go into the Roshan pit if they wish.
Nigma didn't, they were just under complete vision. Look, they're pinging it out right now too. Like Weeha's like pinging that ward, but he actually walks right back into it.
Yeah, he throws out the Void Remnant. That doesn't stop Era for long thanks to the bulldoze. He shrugs off that disable. The ward is still there.
Wait, Weeha was pinging that ward though. Like he's like I know there's a ward here, and he walked up and just gave his life for it. That ward just literally won them that whole entire situation.
Oh, my control, the Echo Slam! A whopper combo from Nigma with 2 heroes. They are hoping this is enough to get Heikos out of the damn pit with a buyback coming in from Weeha. Heikos, they're going to be limping away here. Supreme is going to be forced to use his BKB. He's going to go for a TP out. Heikos have to reset. Now, Roshan's not low enough that Weehaw can do it by himself, I think.
They got 10 seconds or so left on Weaver. No, he can't take this out by himself. It's going to take way too long. They're going to be able to swing back over. Ursa even buys Blink. They're booking it.
They're going to run back in, but the Weaver's going to be up in time. They also have to relocate coming in from the IO. They're immediately going to try and rush this. Was this the play? Can they get this in time? The Roshan's falling fast. Oh, Shiva's going to go in, but they can't actually stop it. Everything's going to be picked up on the ground. Supreme with no BKB. He's got to play it careful here. Nigma start backing themselves away. A charge in from Era. It's Charlie who runs on in and tanks the Void Remnant, but he will manage to catch up with Reha here. Thanks to the Abyssal Blade. A follow-up bump in there from Era. He's going to be able to get him killed, and GH just used his tether as well, so he can't tether himself to Miracle, but High Coast respect the fact that Nigma, they got a cheese, they got a refresher, they got that Aegis. They do not want to overextend themselves.
No, don't overextend on High Coast. They're about to have their ults back up. 30 seconds. Charlie's actually walking in very aggressively here anyway.
Yeah, Charlie, he don't give a damn.
They don't. He's feeling really powerful because Veno's dead for such a long time. Charlie's like, thank God I can actually play Ursa properly. But looking for those type of catches. But their ults are about to come back up on High Coast.
Yeah, as you say, with the Venomancer dead, and then he's got spider legs on top of it, his mobility, there's such a massive difference for him. They're going to try and burst out Supreme, but he's got a fresh BKB in the black hole. He managed to catch the Weaver while the guy was being addressed. Io, GH managed to get off the cheese, and the Weaver's not dead yet. He managed to get off the time lapse. Chikoshi himself away as GH does the same with the tether. Now the ultimate comes out for the Venomancer, as they're focusing down this death problem. The Spirit Siphon's keeping alive with the ult scepter as well. He's healing up so damn much. Weehaw, double in, refresher, back and forth with the Astral Step. Going on to the Ursa. Ursa almost dead. He pops in range, tries to go for a DPS, denied by the Gold Scepter. You're not going anywhere, Big Bad Bear. As he turns around, goes for the guy who does manage to get him killed before he finally falls. Era, TP away. Do they have a disable? They do. They've got the Void Remnant. They snap him out of his place. High Coast, they do not manage to win that team fight. These fights are playing towards the end of the game now as we go into late death timers. And Nigma, they're the ones with the advantage. They can push it now.
So close to getting Miracle, at least the one time, but the cheese and then the time lapse, they're not actually able to focus fire him. GH doing an excellent job bailing out his buddy. Nice fight from Nigma with the buyback too from Mind Control, gives his life up for Miracle. That's Miracle. Yeah, like we said, still Aegis, and now he's got Leveler with all this time to be able to take out at least 2 racks. Are they not going to buy back?
They have the tier 2 up at top, so they may be just making the executive call. There's no black hole. Barracks are not worth as much as a buyback.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
No, not at this point. Double barracks really hurts to play against, though. That constant pressure that comes out, and it is the middle and bottom one. So, you know, they're gonna have to. The tension is gonna start getting pulled to the bottom and mid lane, and then that's always gonna give like those weird Roshan potentials for Nigma if the game does get to that point later on. It's gonna be tough for High Coast now with 2 racks is down. It's always just gonna be the sides that are being forced in, and then yeah, they have to just like run all the way around the map. And this Nigma's draft is all about that mobility and pulling them around the map. They are able to outnumber. That will hurt High Coast a lot. I think these 2 racks might hurt them more than they thought it will.
They do have an extra late game step here, Pogged. Chessie is working towards a refresher. We've seen how effective like 1 black hole is at being able to dismantle this Weaver IO lineup.
Does he have mana? He's gonna be really close to not having the mana for double. Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
He may have to go for a mana booster after this refresher if he hopes to be able to do anything with it. We'll see. Maybe he just grabs a bunch of and shoves them in his.
Yeah, something like that. He's gonna need it. He doesn't have the mana. You want to ideally get at least like one of the midnight pulses off too. If he midnight pulses, he doesn't have mana for double once he gets that refresher.
Supreme, they're gonna lead off on him. Just poking, seeing if Supreme or anybody from High Coast can be pulled out of position. Miracle, he's gonna be spotted here. He does have double damage. He's a missile bladed, but they do have to the black hole. It's gonna be able to catch him. GH, can they save him? They're not gonna go for it on the first life, and he uses tether, but it doesn't actually bail out Weehaw. Meanwhile, the second life of Miracle is gonna come into play with the old scepter. Stops the Shukuchi. Can they get the silence afterwards? They get a bash and a silence and an abyssal blade. The Weaver's dead.
Nice stuff from Era, controlling the backline. He kept chasing Kuroki. Kuro can't actually go for any play to save him out. And that's 80 seconds. So, wow, back and forth. We keep having these deaths where there's no buybacks. And 90 also on Weehaw. Every single time he seems to be getting caught in with his brother inside of that black hole.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
29 to 28. a match that High Coast have nothing to play for, but they also have nothing to lose. Playing fearlessly in the face of... Oh, Charlie!
He finds him.
All right. I mean, that's the kind of game-winning move. Charlie!
He finds him.
All right. What do they do with this timer, though? I don't think they know there's no buyback on... Yeah, they don't know there's no buyback on the Weaver. That's due to gold.
Mind Control's gonna have to try to stall. He has to be super careful on this Venomancer, though. They'll try to dive him instantly. Charlie, pop the Enrage, get that Gale off, and they should be able to get this Rax here. We'll continue to slow it down. They're being very cautious. They're probably afraid of the buyback, like you're saying.
Keeping it going. 12 seconds till the Weaver's up. High Coast are probably looking at this going, okay, this is enough time. They're going to pop their ultimate, actually, and that may scare High Coast away. The preemptive relocate.
Okay.
That was
keep the Rex up.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool move. I mean, they just pretty much spooked High Coast from being able to get that melee barracks.
That was nice. I like that Nigma's playing very cautious because Chessie, I think they spotted that he had Refresher and he did instantly pop it, and then he ninja geared, I think maybe even in Vision. So I think they were very afraid of that second black hole coming in. We'll all respawn. Some nice wards coming out from the side of High Coast. There's actually one in the base of Nigma that they did not take out just yet.
Oh, man. Fog, do you see that Trickster Cloak on the Death Prophet? I mean, that is some big survivability upgrade there. Whether the active works for him or not, just the evasion against this Weaver who does not have an MKB.
Yeah, I mean, even Magic Resist isn't bad because he is like, you know, Maelstrom. It'll add up a little bit there, but yeah, nice pickup, and I like the Hex. It really is those. Keep Weaver in place, as we've seen several times now. If they just keep Miracle locked down, he will die, and they do have quite a lot of forms of it now. As Charlie, he's actually almost got an MKB finished up too. Hasn't quite spent his gold.
It's also an instant disable to potentially catch GH, right? Because his play, he has to be able to get the relocate onto Miracle. So everybody from High Coast to be high alert.
Mid. There's double catapults here. They've got the Eidolons and the Necrobook, the melee racks. Getting low. There's still a ward in the base too. Okay, they have a gem now on Mind Control, so at least be able to take that one out.
Siege wagons are hard to deal with. They're going to throw out the boyfriend and try and stop it, but the melee barracks dies.
Meanwhile, bottom, we see double siege wave coming in from Nigma. It's going to hurt that tier 4 quite a bit. They're bringing it. I thought we were going to get to some rat potential. Cap, I'll be honest with you. I always see like 2 racks is down. I see Weaver. I see Io. I think Nigma's just looking for opportunities probably at some point to go for some base pushing if the game starts to get into like some weird forms.
Yeah, especially when Weaver gets level 25.
Yeah, Weaver and Io 25 could definitely just take out the throne really quickly with that attack tethered. So yeah, definitely in the realms of the game getting to that point. Icoast has hit hard in these last 2 fights, and they're gonna have these refresher black holes constantly too to threaten.
MKB for the Ursa. Is there, I think the only evasion he's dealing with, am I crazy? Is it just the tree?
I think it is, yeah.
Huh. Wonder if
I was checking to see. Yeah.
Do you think he expected a butterfly out of the Weaver?
I'm
not sure. I guess he must have. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything else. Oh, no, that's it. It is an annoying item to deal with.
Is there a better damage item if you don't need the True Strike though on Ursa?
That's what I'm thinking, like versus Weaver. Maybe he's thinking about for the later stage if the butterfly comes out, but yeah. I mean, the only other option, I'm not really sure what other option is, because every time I see them just go like S and Ys and stuff like that, but Nigma's, they're gonna get this one. Yeah. They're gonna get it for free.
Quite surprised by that. That's an Aghanim Scepter and a Refresher Shard, so who gets the Ags? I think that was the, maybe the Io.
Yeah, Io Cheese. I don't know. GH is still deciding. He's flying the courier around. Looks like he's trying to send it to Mind Control, but...
Whoa! They do manage to burst out mind control, but he gets a buyback immediately. A charge through, bumps to a black hole being used immediately onto the Weaver. Can they burst him down fast enough? But he does have the edges. They get the relocate out. Miracle's away to safety, and they want to re-engage. They want to be able to catch High Coast. As the gem's going to be left behind here. Refresher going to be popped. This is why Nigma need to respect if they choose to re-engage here. Got to respect that second black hole.
Such a nice reset, though, right? That black hole and Exorcism was expended, so Exorcism's still pretty important here for Supreme. He's actually about to hit 25 on the Death Prophet, too. GH, though, coming with clutch. Did he hand him over yet? Did he give the Ags over? He did. Okay, so Venomancer has Ags, and the Refresher Shard is on Weehaw still last time.
Jumping in, immediately get the jump on Weehaw. Weehaw is dead. A bit of light into the Malefice. They just cannot handle this fast damage. Is now Miracle. He's going to stand strong for a moment against Supreme, but realizing for his better judgment, he's got to get out of here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Again,
attack.
this vision is it's really crippling these mobility heroes on the side of Nigma. The instant disables are just too much for them when they're under vision. Just multiple times now I've seen Weehaw getting, Weehaw getting caught by that. He's got 10 deaths on this Void Spirit just because of these instant quick grabs. Just abyssal detects now. And yeah, wards, honestly. Vision really wins games, everybody.
It does. A late BKB is the choice now for Miracle.
He's getting annoyed by all these little things. Like, it's not just the Basher, it's not just anything like this. It's like the little Malefice stuns and everything are pretty obnoxious, so.
Mara. That hit does a lot of damage as he's gonna re-get his ultimate off thanks to the bulldoze, making that disable not last very long. Should be able to keep the chains done pretty easily. Now with Charlie here, Miracle's got to be a little bit careful. He was hoping to be able to kill that Spirit Breaker. He does pop his ultimate, turn around, pops him real quickly, but now he's been silent.
Charlie's being slowed up.
Yeah, he's dealing with this Venomancer. You said this is a hard game for Charlie to be able to play. The Venomancer's will have to be in his face constantly. They do manage to get the scythe onto Miracle, but he quickly shrugs it off and is able to get his Shukuchi away. This Scotty is slowing things down incredibly. The Wind Waker away goes mind control. It's Miracle looks to be able to chase him down again. BKB activated, TP out. Chesty, no! The Abyssal Blade from Miracle catches him on the last half second here. And now Supreme, he's going to be run down as well. He's got the gem too, so they should be able to pick that one up, even if it takes a little bit to kill. He tried to drop the gem off. Oh, he hit it. He hit it behind.
He tried to. Oh, he did. Oh, nicely. And they're just committing for the tier 4s now, forcing the buybacks.
Middle tower is falling.
One buyback out. They're going to wait for the Spirit Breaker to catch people before the Enigma buys back. I think he get it, but GH, he barely lived. One more swipe, but he gets the cheese off first. Supreme, he charges forward with the Shivas. Was hoping he'd be able to catch somebody. They just used 3 buybacks. They needed a successful fight for that. They don't get it.
It's just so hard for Charlie to do anything in the fights. Just Scotty slow, Veno poison sting. It's just kite central for this Ursus. Now he gets on top of Miracle.
Is that the first life? No, he gets off the time lapse and zoom away. Era, zoom on after him, goes for GH and realizes that's a bit too far out.
Charlie's gone for Heart next too. Okay.
Charlie.
So no boots. He does have spider legs at the very least, as we've said from earlier, but he's just feeling like he's getting pressure too much. And the thing is, he's built Heart into a Scotty, so that kind of just makes Scotty a little bit better, I feel, because he's just getting kited anyway, and that's going to reduce the effectiveness of the heal. It's a hard game for the Ursa anyway. Just watching him in the fights, it's just poison stings, gales, ghost scepters, wind wakers, as he's getting hit by Scotty the whole time. It's pretty frustrating for Charlie this game. I don't think he knows what the solution really is. That's why we're seeing, like, you know, MKB versus non-evasion. Now Heart, he doesn't really know what the solution is versus all this kiting.
Well, looks like we're not going to be able to go high ground with this Aegis. I'm wrong. It should be fading pretty soon, right? Ooh. 25
yeah, it's about to be 20 seconds. And Miracle spends his gold finally. What's he bringing out? Is it a Satanic? It is. So he's going to have more survivability on this Weaver now.
Places that true second life with a pseudo second life. But
They're in a
I
position here.
They see an opportunity to be able to pick off GH. They might just have got him. Sight device goes out. The Aeon's is immediately defensively, but it's takes off the disable thanks to the status resistance. And Charlie, he just got bashed up. Now he's going to be Echo Slam, but he managed to get the enrage off. He's going to start focusing on a miracle. On the side, they're going to be able to catch Weehai here with the first black hole. He's already dead. Weehai's going to go for the buyback. This is a must-win engagement. Nigma, they can close out this game now as Era turns around, goes to the charge, but he's caught. The Fisher pulls him down into the grave as Supreme running away with the exorcism. They got to be careful of Chessie, though. He doesn't have the mana for a second black hole, but maybe he does now. Lose it. Black hole a second too late. Doesn't hit Miracle. And now Chessie, he's going to be ripped apart by Miracle. All that damage going out, but they might be able to kill GH. They do. 2 minutes on the clock for one, but GH, he's able to buy back immediately, come to this fight. Oh, no, it's just too much. They know Supreme cannot hold this any longer. Not with Charlie dead, not with the last black hole used. That is it for High Coast. Nigma, a hard-fought Game 1 victory for them.
That was a stressful one for them for sure. They started really getting their stuff together though. The mobility game is just insane, really. They couldn't stick. They had to pick and choose who they wanted to stick on a lot of the times, right? I feel like High Coast got a little fortunate in some of these fights that Weehai literally jumped into some black holes. Because I felt like a lot of these fights, the mobility was getting to them. Like there was one side, but then this Weaver and Io was on another side, and they just had to split.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Game 2 of High Coast Esports versus Team Nigma coming your way here at DreamLeague Season 14, powered by Intel, and I can't wait. I hope that the second game is going to live up to the expectations of the madness of the first game. However, there's something to said about a track record and needing a warm-up game, and sometimes Team Nigma afterwards, they just show up without any mercy. We're here joined by Purge, Kyle, and Tigov, and we have the draft ready for you. Do you expect such a mad game like Game 1 here for Game 2, Purge?
I hope there's another game like that. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was really hard to actually prep the segment because I was like, I just want to watch this game. Constant team fights, crazy hype moments, so I hope we get another one.
Definitely a lot of chaos. Felt like I was watching Sing Stack play against Bulldog Stack at certain points in that game. Just a lot of chaos, but ultimately entertainment, which is what we're all here for.
That is true.
Unless you're an Enigma fan, in which case you'd really like them to go to the major, which means they kind of have to.
They kind of have to win. Oh, they're on the right track. They are one game up here, of course. We have another Shadow Demon first pick. Obviously, it didn't work out as intended, I guess, in first game, but they came very close. Is it first pick material?
I didn't mind it. It did do a little bit of work for them overall, and it's more of like a comfort hero for them.
There's also an interesting mechanic I didn't realize, but when Shadow Demon poison is dissipated or like activated, it kills trees around the area of the target. Do you see that?
I don't know if that's real.
I don't think that's real.
Well, something killed the trees, and it wasn't Midnight Pulse. What else would it have been?
No way.
There's no way Shadow Poison
Shadow Poison
trees.
does nothing with trees.
Okay, maybe GH must have tethered just as he died.
Yeah.
Most likely.
That's okay. That's what it was then. Okay, fine.
I was like, what patch are you reading?
I was like, oh, you blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know that
Shadow Demon
happened.
just walking through the map. No trees here. No trees.
No. When it pops.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Like
but
on
it
the
doesn't.
hero.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
When he was dire side by the tier 1.
Yeah, top of the map.
That was, bro, that was like 600 AoE of trees. There's no way you would have seen this some other time in your life.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Shadow Demon like at all though.
Yeah, wow.
Just saying. Okay, so it was Tether. He just died before we really saw the animation.
Question about this combo. Isn't this a little bit of a counter synergy going on?
How so?
Don't you want people to run away when they're ruptured? And Shadow Demon either slows them down with Purge or disrupts them altogether?
You get the disrupt into the blood right though.
Sure.
You purge
nice.
one, rupture another. That's not two lads.
Okay.
Both BKB piercing.
More importantly, though, High Coast Esports is still on first pick, and this time they changed the ban from a Furion to an IO, because again, they clearly respected the overall aggression and skirmish capabilities that Nigma did have. I think High Coast, if they were against a lineup that was a little bit slower from Nigma, that game would have been even closer than it was. So you have to give kind of props to the other side.
Strat. The spirits awaken.
They did a really good job with the IO as well, like just punishing Chessie's split push, because there was a couple times that like Nigma would invade heavily, be really aggressive, maybe get a pick off, and then Chessie would be like, well, I guess I have to split push, and he'd be pretty darn careful when I watched it back, but like it would scan for him and find him, and the relocate just punished him so many times. It made the game a lot harder.
I do like the fact that when Nigma is second pick, they're relying on this kind of Void Spirit to unlock the draft for both Miracle and Weehaw. It's just a simple hero to pick that they can both play on.
Doesn't Earth Spirit do that for you already though?
Not really.
You don't think that? Why not play the Wii Spirit? The Wii Earth Spirit is solid. We've seen was it OG playing on top?
I have
Spirit.
flashbacks to the CQ Major. We were playing against Vichy Gaming in game 2 after winning the first game, and we was like, give me mid Earth Spirit. We do it with blind confidence. He goes 0-5 against a Timbersaw or something. it wasn't maybe Timber, like it was like that bad. And since that day, I've lost all faith in the Weehaw Earth Spirit mid.
I remember selling Misery on offlane Underlord for Sumail. They picked in a couple scrims. Apparently everyone got mad at each other, and Misery was then banned from taking suggestions from me. Bulba didn't let him talk to me about the tournament.
I mean, I don't blame him. Great track record.
Well,
really sell yourself as a pro.
Underlord was really rocking it. It just didn't make sense, you know. And I, of course, wasn't privy to the information because it wasn't in the scrim. So how would I know? But yeah, Morph Ban, I do like it. I don't think that's a hero you should ever give Nigma in the current iteration. It's just too good to give Miracle because it's like this active playmaker plus hyper carry all in one. And
Radiant
Puff gone.
ban.
You gotta ban out the spirits, though.
Oh, speak of the devil, Underlord banned.
Yeah.
Very good counter pusher. Actually, most of the Nigma bans have been counter push heroes to slow the game down.
Is there any Necronomicon heroes still in the pool?
Remaining.
Not like an obvious Necronomicon hero builder?
Tusk.
Dazzle.
5 seconds remaining.
Anyone.
Never mind.
To your question, simply put, no. The Light of the Beast and Enigma are all out of the game.
I will say Tusk is that next gen. You know, we're discussing Earthshaker as a potential offlaner. It's that same concept, right? We know offlaners plus Necrobook is good. But when Enigma, Lycan, and Beastmaster are gone, what's left? I really think Tusk is that next
Just stuns. Just go for a different strat.
Well, there's still ban out the Prophet, obviously, would still be a risk there. And the Naga is the other ban that Team Nigma gets.
Radiant team pick.
They also have Bloodseeker for his Void Spirit too. It's a pretty good counter, so I like what Hypos has at the moment.
That's dangerous to pick it in Shadow Demon, though. If you get purged, Jingu is no longer a factor.
I think the interesting thing from Nigma is they consistently pick heroes that look bad in like the 1v1 matchups. You know, they pick Void Spirit into Death Prophet. They pick Void Spirit into Bloodseeker. They're picking like, Monkey King into Shadow Demon. Like they're picking these like 1-for-1 counters, but the overall team timing does align to be able to kind of mitigate that problem. Because like Monkey King, he can just stand still Wukong. Now your Void Spirit who's ruptured, who would be countered, can stand there and take the fight. The Shadow Demon who's now countering your Monkey King, he's covered by the Earth Spirit and the Void Spirit enabling you in the fight as well. So it's like they are kind of soft covering from these counters.
I feel like you can just say like, oh, they picked 3 stuns. This is great synergy.
Oh,
they can stun the enemies.
How many times have the teams not picked stuns, Kyle?
That is true. It's a good point.
What are they doing? Thank you.
I thought you were a great believer in stunts.
I am.
He is, but now he's not.
Yeah, I don't know what.
He's just trying to pick a fight.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's as like strategically deep as you're making this sound.
I think the Wukong point very much stands.
Sure, I will agree. This high coast line, but you only see the 2 heroes though.
Question: when you disrupt the Monkey King as a Shadow Demon, and the Monkey King has Ags, do these illusions spawn little Monkey King statues?
No.
It'd be way too good.
Monkeys on monkeys on monkeys.
I mean, PL illusions spawn PL illusions. Who knows?
Now so there you go. Now you want to stand in the Wukong.
Now you can't.
You can't.
You're told to leave.
You get feared out.
Be gone now, Kyle.
This gives me an idea as well, Sheaves. There'd be a really, somebody should make a quiz like once a month, like true or false multiple choice about mechanics.
Yeah.
And just quiz people.
Yeah, well, that would be great content for example, a DPC league somewhere.
Isn't that just like Mythbusters as well?
Like,
people do that crap all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YouTube about that.
You just didn't look at any of the people creating
I tried to make a Dota crossword.
Shadow Demon poison kills trees, by the way, Shiva.
making crosswords is really hard.
I could literally say true or false. Shadow Demon poison.
False.
Kills trees. An explosion.
Submitted by Kyle.
I hope it's just a mechanic we haven't seen, and that it really does. That if you're, I really hope it does. It doesn't. But if it did,
Wait, maybe Valve can like update the coordinator right now.
Yeah.
Them to remake.
I mean, we do know they are prone to updating coordinators in the middle of series, so I would not be surprised.
Because the Monkey King in the game, that'd be so unfair if Shadow Demon suddenly gets some new mechanics.
That's very true.
Oh, dude, you hit him with 1 shadow poison, instantly break it.
And
force
just 1 poison.
It doesn't break the trees. The whole point is if you activated it. So if you had 3 stacks, you're running around the trees, then it pops.
So you have to have 3 stacks for a tree.
No.
How many? Like, is it
the number of stacks increases
stack?
the radius?
Yeah. Oh, the radius.
Yes.
Oh,
but you just need 1 stack to break the trees standing on directly.
Yeah. One
shadow
stack, 1
poison
tree.
Once and he dies.
Yeah. Oof. What a patch.
Do you see trees that are dying in the fog when you're not?
It would
destroy trees at calculated by the formula pi r squared, r meaning being the number of tree stacks of poison. In 100
What's
units.
this wannabe ice frog? Please look at the draft. We got a DK from Nigma.
Solid. There's limited damage on High Coast right now. You pick a DK. A point stun is really nice to have against these supports and Bloodseeker.
Where are any of these calls going?
I mean, DK
That's the thing. You don't know.
DK is probably
Are you last? Hold up. Are you last picking Kuro's here?
I seem so. Well, they could still go for the Void Spirit support. We've seen that in the past.
This is a disgusting fight.
That's us.
Yeah.
That one hurts you. You know, there's certain heroes that get picked up. It's like, think of the feeling of a last pick Brood when you have nothing to deal with spiders. This hurts in a similar fashion because both of your cores are now just miserable.
Yeah, they want to clone Viper and put him in like every single lane.
Yeah, pretty much. The Oracle.
Well, that's where, as long as the Viper goes to the correct build with the Boots of Travel, then it'll be very strong.
They don't have good frontliners right now. That's the only negative to this Viper pick, so that can cause some issues. But
yeah, normally with a Viper, you have this melee hero who can set up the fight for you. You kind of have that in an indirect way with the Shadow Demon, who naturally can start or prolong fights with disruption, and he can also kind of move around the map and set fights up, especially, like I said, if Viper goes Boots of Travel and can start setting a quick pace to the game, it can unlock the game. But it also depends, is Bloodseeker your carry, your offlane? Is Viper your mid, your offlane? Like, Hykos need to decide what they're doing, because the lack of a win condition right now for me does scare me, because I think in the pure strategic matchup, I don't think they can do the same type of game that Nigma did in game 1 and still be able to win. I think they'll have shortcomings of closing out a skirmishing type lineup.
I think it's offline Viper based on those 2 bans. Both the spells could deal with poison attack stacked.
Very true.
The last 2 times that Kuroki played Void Spirit, by the way, it's a 50-50 in terms of performance. One against Liquid, one against Alliance.
Okay. Oh, I already have it.
For sure.
This is the old school. You just put him on Void Spirit. You go back to the old
Put who on Void
5 melee Darkseer lineup.
Oh no.
That's what we're gonna. That's the play.
All right.
Buy Ags and you put Ion Shell on all 5 heroes. It's like 500 DPS. How
That's it. Yeah.
No, I don't see it.
Dire team pick.
I wish it was the Darkseer pick. Oh, wait.
Hykos going full skirmish. Sorry, go on, Purge.
No, that's all. I was just memeing. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. So yeah, Hykos fully leaning into that skirmish, winning the lanes and trying to collapse the game, but they rely so heavily on just having this Viper good game. I think if Nigma can identify that, shut down this Viper, they suddenly don't have this kind of amazing pick to play around.
The damage output is really wonky. You don't scale nearly as well on the Hykos heroes, so you're pretty reliant on having the sick timing before Nigma have BKBs up, at which case they just kind of giggle. Pangolier ult useless, Viper useless, Bloodseeker has Rupture, and that's about it.
I rate this Darkseer pick a lot from what Kyle said. Just the idea of just standing your ground, taking the fight. Like, you put down the Wukong, you have these auras, and instead they go for a lifestealer. Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Well, it's still, look, 5 melee.
That is true. That is true.
This is the bread and butter.
Wall. But yeah.
True, but you can run at him. A Weeha Lifestealer.
That's a position 5
Miracle
Monkey
playing
King.
the Void Spirit this
Kuroki
time.
Monkey King.
All right.
All right.
It isn't bad. Consider that you're playing against Viper now, right? If you have both cores dominated by Viper, you're going to feel really bad. I actually think DK is better as a matchup because you prefer buying BKB earlier, and you at least have this stun. A Viper core, or sorry, Monkey King core just kind of doesn't do anything in the laning phase and then throughout the game.
Earth Spirit Monkey King support duo, they're going to have to be super active. Otherwise, I think the simplicity of Hykos can bode well.
Purge, I want you to be present for this as well. Can we run the clip, please?
Have a look.
No, let's just get into the game. What do you? Oh my god.
Look, this Shadow Demon poison.
His tether's ready.
He's tethered. Look at the, you can see it.
That is a tether. That's a clear tether.
That's the tether.
It's the timing of it, though. You can understand why it would be confusing.
Wait, hold on. Wait, can we go play?
That's a release poison animation right there.
Yeah, that's just.
It's
that's
like
clear,
it's literally at the same time.
It's a tether.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a tether. It was so clear.
But you can understand why it would.
It was so clear that it was the tether.
Yeah.
Purge, final thoughts on the draft.
You can see why Kyle was confused, but ultimately he needed to go a little deeper to figure it out. That's all I need to say.
That next level. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't have the tools to go deeper, Purge. I don't have the replay available.
A yes or no, will we have a game 3?
I would say probably not. I think I like Nigma's.
Okay. Thank you, T.
I think if Vibe doesn't get on, then they have a good chance to win, but their level of execution just doesn't feel up to scratch to Nigma's, so I think Nigma will take this, but Hykos should have a better.
I would hope so. I mean, it's 5 melee, guys. Like, this is just such a wild draft, but anything is possible.
A wild draft leading into a wild game. One can only hope, and I'm sure that our commentary team is on the same page of that. Let's head over to Cap and Fog.
I feel better already.
You know, I always have a nice intro planned for these things, but I'm like, half listening to the panel, I'm like, what are they talking about, this exploding poison trees thing? And I'm like, that's a weird meme to come up with. And now the wildest thing is that Kyle literally believed that shadow poison blew up trees. What? back into the game.
At least you get to tune into this.
5-man, run at you. Zibe, he's going to be the victim of a clash on the dire side thing. Miracle's going to be able to claim the first blood. My mind is boggled here. All right.
My mind's not working.
Let me try this introduction again. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Nigma versus High Coast. This is game 2, where Nigma are just one game away from being the closest possible thing you can be to guaranteed going to the major. They win this series. The only way they're not going to the major is if we get a 4-way, 4-in-3 tiebreaker for 3 spots. So they would have to be the worst team in that tiebreaker and get the only slot that doesn't go to the major. This is the only way that Nigma can't go to the major if they win this series right here.
Well, I hope we get some like 4-way tiebreakers, and I'm pretty sure we will, because we tend to have the luck of just, you know, it's like impossible to have, and then we end up having them, and now it's very likely to have. So we're definitely gonna get breakers. And yeah, we'll see how this game works out. It's 5 melee, Cap. It's 5 melee into Pangolier and Willow, you know, and into Viper. These heroes usually are pretty good versus a lot of these melee heroes. I'm curious to see how Nigma's gonna make this one work. It's a mid Viper as well. They actually moved it up in priority, I feel like, because they saw 3 different break mechanics, like 3 different things that he can break. Lifestealer, Monkey King, Dragon Knight. Looks like it could be a pretty good game for Supreme.
Miracle, I'm not sure if you watched that exchange. He just took so much damage to ensure that the Viper didn't get level 2. Like, he was determined to get at least one of those denies, and he did. But man, that was wild.
Live by the sword. Die.
Yeah, it's tough for you anyway as a Void Spirit. You have to just play under the tower almost exclusively until you can get some like fun trade back with like an Aether Remnant pulling them under tower. But yeah, that was interesting by Miracle.
Also interesting that Charlie refusing to let the creep wave go into the tower here, drags it along and gets a little bit low as a result. Wild stuff going on to this game. And it all started in the draft, right? Where they picked up a Monkey King, found it mega countered, and decided, okay, we're going to make this a 5 position.
Yeah, hey, we always see, especially with like these very experienced teams, the way of just never letting the enemy know where your roles are actually going to be, right? They just completely switched it up. You had no idea until like the 3rd or 4th pick, and even then, it could have just been swapped. So, clever stuff from Nigma. And yeah, we'll see how these lanes end up going. I see Zibe stop the pull bottom from GH, so this should be a pretty free lane for Charlie. He shouldn't get pressured too much. I think Mind Control should also just free farm down here, but should be a good lane for at least the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, I think that's something that we didn't explicitly bring up, but it seems like High Coast really liked this idea, the Shadow Demon being able to suppress the pull behind the tower thanks to Disruption, and allowing you to be able to take or strict 2-on-2s. Like, no pulling shenanigans here. You're actually going to have to take this man fight. You're going to have to take this 2v2, which we plan on.
Yeah, it definitely is really interesting. I've been seeing... I saw like another one. I think I saw like a 5-position gyro kind of do the same, where it's if you pull the wave, he's just going to run you down with barrage. There's like all these like clever kind of 5s, but this one, they love it. I mean, Zibe is a big fan of this hero. He's played it a lot in their series. It's definitely working well for Brown Bottom. We see 9 last hits. Actually, DK is farming better. Mid, definitely that big win. Supreme is really bringing it to Miracle.
Certainly is. To be the second time that the Void Spirit suffers on the side of Nigma, but this time around it's Miracle playing it, which is something that we talked about last series from Nigma, was their choice to move Weehaw into the side lane to try and give him a better laning phase and therefore more of a confidence going into the rest of the game.
Yeah, a bit interesting to see. It's been interesting to see that they forced all this to happen, right? Like, because this Viper was picked, I guess they just didn't know how to salvage the lanes in any way, and this was their best solution. Even though Void Spirit's going to lose the lane, he'll be able to catch up through rotations and whatnot. But yeah, it's a really interesting draft from Nigma. I'm just like really curious to see how it's all going to come together, if it will at all. Because I really feel like High Coast, they have really good measures and really good counters versus it. Like, I love Pango this game. Until the fact that Nigma does get BKBs, it looks super strong from High Coast.
Damn, Supreme. Yet another deny here. Pressures Miracle. Oh, sidesteps the Aether Remnant as the TP was coming in from GH. Miracle is taking a lot of damage. Curl's going to walk over as well, but all because the Aether Remnant missed. They can no longer really attempt to go for that as the 4-minute runes are going to spawn. It's Zibe who picks up the inbit.
Loving to see all those rotations coming out from the supports. 4 minutes. These cores are all pretty self-sufficient, so they'll be just fine. I'm always happy when I see Pangos being able to get this type of start. That always like proves to me that it's going to be like a pretty decent Pango game. Because the laning phase usually is that thing that you do get pressured a lot. I say that, Chessie actually walks under the tower for a second. He could be at risk of dying here.
He finally is going to make the jump away, but Curl is waiting for that to be able to get the pounce. Weehaun's going to stick on top of him, and Chessie, he's dead. There's no way out of this one. He can't TP because Curl has the stun available, so he just gets run down. He's got to be careful when you're in a very long lane. That's the only kill threat that Lifestealer has, is running you down for an extremely long time.
And when you're, the caster starts to talk about how decent of a lane you're having, you just die immediately right after he says it, so. Sorry, Chessie. That's Kuro. We'll be able to secure a bounty rune. All bounty runes secured from Nigma.
He's gonna get the brambles here. With Chessie coming into play, they will at least punish Kuro for taking away their bounty.
Nicely done from Era. I like the skill build. I like the 1-1-1 build on the Willows. I think we're seeing that a lot more frequent now. Always easy to set up your brambles if you don't have the Pango at the side, or if you don't have a stun set up in your lane to be able to do so. Mind control gets a connection on Jebe.
In some big time trouble here. It's going to get the disruption, be able to buy himself a little bit of time. Let's see if he can get away from mind control. He cannot. He's going to die. GH is going to go for the TP out, which will be successful. Mind control, he's the one having the most success outside of the Viper here. His lane is going very mid against Bloodseeker, but mid lane, they're going for a dive here. Didn't quite expect Kuro to be showing up. Supreme is going to throw down the Nether Toxin, clear through this wave, because ultimately, killing Miracle may not be the best objective here. Just pushing him out of the lane does a lot with a Siege Wagon about ready to hit the tower.
Yeah, Nigma actually has to respond with all three heroes. Like, Kuroki's even coming. Now GH is setting up in case something happens. High Coast, they're bringing 3 as well. Miracle still level 5. But he has to play a little cautious there with no Astral Step. And there's the two side lanes of Nigma, as we said, very self-sufficient. Same thing for High Coast, so that's why we're seeing this big focus on the mid lane this game at that 6 minutes.
Dragonite lane, man, I did not expect him to be able to pressure the Bloodseeker the way he's doing it, but he actually just kicked Charlie out of lane.
I really did not expect that either. And I look at this tower, like he's gotten it down to half HP already. And Charlie can't actually step up. This hard stun, it is one of the things that Bloodseeker hates to play against in the early games. It's just, I mean, even later stages too, is just point click stuns, 2.5 seconds. Not fun.
They're gonna go for a kill.
They have to bring the Viper. Yeah.
They can get the Rupture and then ensure Arrow's close enough for the disable. Mind Control will certainly die, but maybe they can still catch him with this haste rune. They lay down the ward to be able to get vision of him, but Mind Control, it's already juked away into the trees.
Really smart stuff from Nigma. Just reading the map perfectly, just knowing that that Viper was going to make that rotation. They chill, defend their tower. Now they can split up the supports and look to pressure the side lanes a bit. Chessie has hit 6 now off of this. But he has been slowed down a decent bit from his death. He was having a very good start. Now it has been stopped a bit, and they are swinging toward him, Chessie. Be careful with his next swashbuckle.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot.
It is. They don't have GH with silence either.
Yeah, they were talking about how, like, all of these heroes, their first 3 heroes, all had a disable, but none of them last very long.
That was an interesting interaction. He Boulder Smash kicks the Pango, but the Pango swashbuckle supersedes it.
Yeah.
So he instantly buckles out of it. That's cool.
8-minute power rune coming up. Miracle begging, pleading that it's going to be bottom lane, and it is.
And he gets it.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Zibe trying to get a little bit aggressive because they had the TP rotation coming in from the Viper. He needs some help. Somebody's got to help him out. He's going to throw out the disruption. Now they're going to lead off with a Rupture from Charlie. The Viper's going to be here soon, but the fighter's already been made into 2 versus 3. Supports are going to be traded out. Ultimately, this is Supreme rotating for a kill that was not his priority. He really wants that Dragonite dead, but he's just not quite catching it.
And Mind Control's playing this offlane really nicely. And they're doing a good job with the supports of just moving around as a duo. I see Kuroki and GH making the moves. They lose GH, it's fine. Just wanted to back up that DK, not lose the bigger heroes. But High Coast, they're persisting. They have this lane ward.
And Era is going to be able to get the disable on Mind Control. They may not have expected Supreme to still be in the neighborhood as they're finally going to catch up to him. And surely, Mind Control, he's going to die here. He tries to go for a TP out. That is in vain. The damage comes a little bit too fast for him.
Supreme being very persistent, and he is going to be going for that bots build, so looking to be able to match the mobility that's going to be coming out from a lot of these Nigma heroes. It's something I guess I didn't talk about too much is Void Spirit, Monkey King, Earth Spirit. We're going to see a lot of mobility coming from them to match and just follow where Mind Control is moving. So Supreme with these bots will always be able to match those movements, and he's going to have it at a really solid time because of that mid lane. Top net worth on Viper, always a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
And let's see what Chesty looks to do. Yes, he did use Rolling Thunder before, but didn't look to. I think it was just a Rolling Thunder to survive.
Yeah, looks like it. He's got it coming up with this this TP out. Run back to base, and then you time your TP. So you could just kind of like look at the map, kind of feel out where you think you could go. Now the play would definitely be going bottom, as I could see Nigma setting up right now, but.
I thought Chesty was absolutely going to set up bottom. Like, Rolling Thunder versus DK ult is one of the better solutions I've seen from a lot of different teams, but he TP's bottom, so this bottom tower, like, this is just dead now from High Coast. Charlie, he has to just book it. I don't want to see him stick around here.
Why is Charlie here?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, broken tree. They're going to mass TP in. Maybe they can actually fight this, even if they don't have the Pango. The jump in, they're going to pop out, immediately try and burst down Supreme, and they do manage to get him with the Wukong's command, creating some serious havoc. Charlie is blocked out. Kuro positioned himself. Unfortunately, there was a hole that Charlie was able to get himself through. A kick, GH, long range, get it hit off. Oh my God, makes it all the way. Rolls him down. What a long range kick from GH. Zibe. Is he gonna die as well? They do have the stun follow up here from Monkey King. Zibe gets off his ultimate. Oh, not inside the brambles. Miracle is able to jump himself away. Another roll in is able to finish him off. They're running out of damage here as sadly the ultimate is down now from Era, but he's out of mana. He doesn't have Shadow Realm. All he's got is First Crown. That won't protect him any soon. High Coast. I mean, fucked, man.
And now Mind Control too. Like, he probably will die here. They're gonna focus everything on him, but yeah, that's a kill. It's just I mean, if they even get him, are they gonna be able to finish him?
He does kick out. But now Supreme. Fairy Fire, the Void Remnant catches him, pulls him back.
I gotta be honest, Caps. I am so honest. I'm so surprised Chesty TP'd top when they've just been pushing bottom. And his team obviously wanted to make the executive call to defend bottom. The Pango and Viper are the two strongest heroes on the map at the moment when they do have like their ults like this, and they just don't send the Pango, who's the tower defender, you know, that offlaner. It tends to always be those offlaners to set up for those big tower defenses. And they just send him top. I think that was a huge blunder.
Oh, what a kick from GH. That was definitely a moment for a goal.
I wanted to scream it, but sometimes my microphone sucks and I don't want to blow up people's ears.
All right, well, some items are going to be dropped here. They did get the mask. We were talking about how good it is for Tidehunter in the last series being purged, and Pango's another one of those heroes. Exceptionally good with a free lifesteal item.
That item feels like it's a little bit too effective on certain heroes, but I like it. I like seeing like these new, very specific neutral items. It seems like at the tier 1, that's just, like, it's so perfect for certain carries and so perfect for certain like spellcasters, like we see Fairy Trinket. I like that we've gotten a little bit of change up with it, rather than just like a mango tree.
Well, you say certain spellcaster, but it's in like literally every hero that has a spell. Yeah. God, Fairy Trinket's so good.
I love like every aspect of it, really. It's just like I'm playing Shadow Shaman, I'm just like, ooh, 5% mana cost reduction. Like, ooh.
Yeah, why does it give 100 health?
That too. It gives a lot, yeah. Charlie shows his face up top. They put a ward down, and he TP'd up here.
They got to protect Charlie's game somehow, because he is being hunted by Nigma. He is public enemy #1, it seems like. He's going to break the smoke as he runs into them. Gets off the blood right, but he's certainly dead, as we're going to run. But it's out back into the mid lane, where we're going to watch the Dragonite actually get Rolling Thunder and killed there. So they
immediately TPs to defend the tower. They don't want to lose it, even though they did lose their Dragonite, and they swing back over with everybody. And they kill the most important hero, right? Bloodseeker's dead. His game has just been significantly stopped twice.
Yeah, now they've got vision in the triangle, so they're going to make sure that... Did you know you could, I think, hop down from the tree? He actually capped.
I did not know you could do that. No, that was nice.
But yeah, and now they've got vision inside of the triangle, thanks to the fact they got a Monkey King. So If Bloodseeker feels like when you're under pressure like this, every carry is like, fine, well, I'll just go farm the triangle. But he may not find that it's very safe at all.
It's not versus mobility carries. Like heroes that can just get in and get out, like Earth Spirit, Monkey King, even Void Spirit. They're very good when they have vision like this of the triangle, because it's just easy for them to exactly do that. Get in and get out. As GH, is he gonna get stolen killed here?
Oh yeah, Suzuki, that last bit of damage though still comes in from Era. That's a killing spree. As Mind Control will get up to the high ground, he's safe.
Chessie.
As he runs into Void Remnant, Miracle had a little bit of trap, but they don't really have the damage. As a Monkey King doesn't really provide a whole lot.
And now Miracle, he's got an Astral.
Throw the Terrorize out, that misses, and Chessie rolls the wrong direction. Miracle, what a hiding spot he got himself into with that Astral Step. That was a very pretty little play there for Miracle, as Weehaw is now potentially going to be run down here, looking to be able to get the Infest. Inside the Centaur he goes, stuns up the Shadow Demon, allowing GH to get the follow-up to stable here. Well played by Weehaw.
They've effectively juked out like all of the ults now of High Coast besides Rupture. Now Era also caught in a bad spot. Beautiful reset by Team Nigma. Aggressive play from High Coast not paying off this time.
TP is to the other side of the map, picks up the bounty runes, which will mean Mind Control is going to have his Blink Dagger very soon. All of a sudden, he can really start fights for them. Jump onto the Viper here with GH, rolling across the scene here, picks him back into Miracle, will pull him a little bit deeper. He is stuck in a quagmire here, is now Monkey King, maybe stuck in a little bit of a swamp himself, trying to get out with the TP. Zibe trying to get close enough, he couldn't get there for the disruption. Level 1 disruption, Miracle stuck here with a Rupture on him, but Era is gonna shadow him. One right is out. Miracle's gotta make sure not to be in that silence. Thunder being here from Chessie. Got the Rage, Bird's going out. He's gonna Rage, TP out, so they're not gonna go for him. They're gonna go for the DK instead, who's gonna find himself overwhelmed by the High Coast response.
Cost them quite a bit. Nigma, I think they might look to fight back very soon afterwards, as it was pretty much all their ults used there in that situation. And Miracle, he's very fight ready. DD rune plus the Orchid. Definitely gonna look to smoke. And a Spirit Vessel even. GH is, I can't believe how actually farmed the two supports on Nigma are. As a very awkward support duo of the Monkey King or Spirit that we don't see very often together. Yeah, the Spirit Vessel this early on is gonna be really impactful. It's an extra little bit of damage and just preventing any heals.
Both teams put a lot of emphasis on aggressive wards. Now, this mid-aggressive ward should have spotted the smoke. Charlie will back up at the perfect time. Maybe, or maybe he doesn't back up far enough away. The Orchid plus double damage. That'll make short work of him. At this point, they have to know that ward on the high ground now.
Yeah, I feel like they did see that smoke though, right? With the wards that they had, but maybe he just was... Yeah, he looked like he played defensive, but not defensive enough. And now Nigma, they're setting up again. They see 2 or 3 heroes top, and they have the Orchid.
Terrorize immediately as a response to disruption, but try and buy a little bit of time here. The TP in from Supreme is going to be guarded by the Glyph. The Viper is here, but Nigma, they are sandwiching, and they managed to get a beautiful silence out from GH. 3-man silence with the ultimate on all of them. Chessie, he's going to have to bail this out with a Rolling Thunder for the Dream as he rolls on through everybody. Supreme is hoping to be able to get the kill on a GH before he dies. GH rolling off the map. He does not live through the multitude of poison that comes in from the Shadow Poison, as well as the Viper. He will die, but a fight that was well worth it for Nigma.
Beautiful setup. GH gives his life for the team, gets a 4-man magnetized spread into silence, and that's without Mind Control there. They just keep causing all this chaos and havoc, and it doesn't seem like High Coast is expecting these moves to come out. They bring the Viper up there, and another death for Supreme. 4 deaths now on this Viper. A hero that we always talk about, where you start getting to this point of death, your effectiveness really starts to crumble super quick. They start to get the itemization to deal with you, and you just start getting burst before you actually get to get that frequency of spells out.
All right, they find
now for High Coast.
Wait. Okay, he's afraid of dying. Okay, he knows the ward is there. It's just one of those like, oh, they're probably gonna protect the ward, which he's right. Miracle was coming up. So.
Yeah, Miracle saw him place the sentries. Now he's just standing on top of it. And he's got Arcane Rune and the Orchid and level 12. So if any of these supports do walk up, they're quite dead. And they've got backup now. Nigma bringing 3, bringing 4. High Coast looking to maybe hit onto Mind Control, but he's got the blink.
Chessie. He's going to TP in. They got to make sure they bring... Oh, God.
Chessie, don't walk up.
Seriously,
Be
man.
careful, Chessie.
Zibe wasn't willing to deward that. Zibe was willing to try and throw another sentry down, and Chessie tried to follow up that initiation with a Blink Rolling Thunder. Does hit some of the heroes, but nobody from High Coast is really nearby as they've lost Zibe. Supreme going to be covered by the Blood right here, but GH is rolling in. Kuro's got to come out. They might just be able to find more. It's going to be Chessie. He rolled back into that vision as Charlie runs away. Now the initiation, the Dragon Tail terrorized, beautiful, but there's still a two-man forward, but they're getting ripped apart by this Dark Will. Just did so much damage. Damn.
Wow, I think that was the Bedlam plus Soul Catcher catching like 3 heroes. It is a level 4 Soul Catcher, so yeah, that looks like with the big I was like, what the hell chunked them so quick? But it was then a beautiful save. He gets the disruption onto the Bloodseeker as they make the initiation. High Coast hitting back, but Miracle, he's still looking to make another play. Bots and an infested Lifestealer inside. 485 movement speed while he's infested. Not going to be able to swing for anything. Will find himself another rune. I think Miracle's got a majority of the power runes this game, I want to say.
Yeah, there it is. Soul Catcher adds Supreme's damage on top of the Bedlam. Miracle working his way around. He wants to be able to get into the triangle again with this Invis rune. He will be spotted immediately. Disruption's going to go down. Supreme's going to be caught by Weehaw, though. They're trying to get away, but at the same time, Weehaw's already been rolled through. Supreme will die, but Weehaw, he's got no way out of this one, and he knows it too. He puts what damage he can, but ultimately, Miracle has led him into a trap.
High Coast was very well prepared for this one. Now, hey, swing top. You have 40 seconds to make something happen. Try to get another kill, or try to at least get some tower pressure going. Since you only do have that one tower, they have good deep aggressive wards too, so they see that Nigma is starting to set up on this. Let's see if they catch Kuroki. Chessie has his Quelling Blade up in 1 second.
Oh, he broke it. Nice. Well played.
It just came up, so he just swapped it in for the bottle from his backpack and had like 1 second, and they will get the tower off that too, so these aggressive wards pay off because they do see the movements coming in, and Nigma gets halted. They get slowed down quite significantly. A 3k swing and a 3k experience swing as well. It's actually more than that, 4k experience swing.
I think this is so important for High Coast because nothing feels worse than getting aggressive wards, but then finding that they're useless because the enemy team is playing on your side of the map all the time.
Yeah. And now look, they're even setting up for more with that aggressive ward. So they're looking for another opportunity, maybe trying to catch Miracle. He looks pretty safe though. He's got the double Astral. He will be able to back away. And Mind Control quietly farming, you know, during all of this action. He went bottom. He's just been chilling. He's almost got his BKB. So like Panel said, a big timing for Nigma will be once they do have BKB, especially on the Dragon Knight, because then he just doesn't have to care at all about a Pango. The break mechanic also is mostly addressed. And it's also going to be Miracle going for 1-2, so you can see how important those BKBs are versus that Pango team fight, and the Willow too.
Yeah, it kind of shows why Chessie put so much preference into finding that initiative. When Dagger pickup, he's saying, like, I need those instant disable.
Especially he just needs to be that control factor for Miracle, because like looking at the draft, there's not really that much. It's the Willow spells, but most of the time Void Spirits can play around them, you know, with Dissimulate and whatnot. So it really is up to Chessie to get good bounces back and forth with the Rolling Thunder to take Miracle out in the fights.
At what point do we start getting really scared for High Coast? Like, at what point is their peak of a lineup and like, okay, you have to win the game?
I think it's getting pretty soon, honestly. Like Charlie's got his BKB and Viper has his BKB. Viper's effectiveness is gonna soon just disappear once the BKBs on Nigma come out. So I want to see them really accelerate right now on the side of High Coast. Because if they start running into BKBs, that's, yeah, it's just DK is gonna be able to just get these dream initiations for the side of Nigma every time.
Well, they can't afford to just keep hanging around their triangle for much longer. I don't think Nigma is too upset with just chilling back and farming. They've got Assange now onto the Lifestealer.
They're smoking up right now, High Coast. They lost their vision, though, at the moment inside the enemy jungle. So right now, it's really just a defensive ward. They don't have too much information where Nigma is. Zippe is going to scan. He's going to put a ward down. It's going to get broken, though. Weehaw does instantly break that, so unfortunate for High Coast.
Terrorize outside of vision, for the rage goes off first. Weehaw read that one well. Rage is now out, though, and Chessie could potentially chase him down here. The Rolling Thunder is going to hit him, and Miracle. He's still at the Infest. They're going to try and go for the silence off of this one. The rest of the team isn't really following through. Now they're going to go for this Rupture. Charlie, he's going to be for the kill with a BKB, but there it is. He does manage to get the Infest. Kuro bails him out, and that's going to be a Rupture wasted. High Coast, this fight was never going to be theirs, as they're going to try and cover their tracks with the Blood Right era. Looking to be able to get away. The old Scepter on himself into the Shadow Realm, but jump forward here from Kuro. Looking to be able to catch some more heroes as the Astral Step will finish off Era. They will find the extra +1. That's going to be Zibe.
They tried so hard. They tried so hard to get the ward down to at least get like information of the fight. Zibe, it gets broken though. It's literally the best possible thing for Nigma to have happen is Weehaw walking into them there, and then they just overplayed their hand. They had to walk out. Their BKBs got used. As soon as Rolling Thunder and BKBs are down, Nigma just starts chasing right back in and always looking for those bailouts. You know, these infests. Weehaw. So if he gets done on, he's gonna get those opportunities. And that was High Coast's big fight. They have to win that one.
Like, I think they just needed to go with some gusto, you know? I don't like the fact they're hesitating, as now they're going to find themselves the one initiated on. The Rolling Thunder's not going to get off in time. He got silenced by GH. Now, he can potentially die without getting it off at all, as Charlie will need to get that one kill. In fact, they're getting a bit by bit terrorized. Maybe they're actually going to be able to run down. Yes, they can. The Rolling Thunder does come into play now. Knocks Kuro off his perch on the tree. Oh no, Nigma. They thought this is a point to be able to push their advantage, but it turns into utter disaster as Charlie. He finally hits his swing as a Bloodseeker. He feels large and he feels in charge.
Okay. He literally just gets to stand his ground and just beat on everyone. His BKB came back up, and Weehaw, he was still kind of low. He wasn't actually full up. Great fight by High Coast, and immediately right after a fight that Nigma just dominates. So you were saying you wanted some gusto from them. They get it there on the high ground.
Certainly do, and now they can, with that Aegis,
is under attack.
See if they can keep this momentum going. Chessie, great Rolling Thunder by him and that entire team fight.
Beautiful place to fight too, right? With the Willow sitting in the back lines, able to get the fears off, and always in these little clustered areas. That's where you see the Willow and Pango are able to thrive. Nigma maybe has to be a little bit more careful when they do have, you know, BKBs going down, their Dragon form ending. Maybe just got a little too overzealous, and it hurts. You know, High Coast, now they've got an Aegis, they've got a Basher on Charlie too, so game a lot harder for Weehaw. Where now he can't actually man fight versus the Bloodseeker nearly as often, nearly as well versus that Basher. Very close game again coming out.
Ward on the high ground. But I don't believe they know about its existence. They may see it. They may like read it now. They need to Shadow Poison run up that high ground. Back up and smoking. Go the long way around into the triangle. GH has got to be a little bit careful though. If they go all the way around, there's a chance that Kuro, Kuro's in a position to be able to break this. But need to catch Weehaw first, terrorize it, pump and fakes, doesn't actually go down instead. They use the Purge first, they jump in, Miracle, a big hit with GH coming in from behind, the back line immediately melts from High Coast as Charlie. He's got to do this pretty much all on his own with the BKB activated, but nobody from Nigma is really that low. They're going to turn around, manage to get Weehaw a little bit low here, but he's able to just invest and heal back up almost immediately. Chessie will manage to bring down Kuro, but he's got to help. As now, they do manage to have Zibe come in with a disruption, but the Orchid is a little bit too much with no BKB. The amplified damage is going to be able to burst down this Bloodseeker. The cars are gone, and High Coast, they're on the run. Zibe, he's going to find himself a dieback here. Unless he can juke for his life, he cannot.
What a way to start the fight. Again, you know, vision being so important inside of these. Kuroki gets a 4-man boundless strike to kick it all off, and then they just get the follow-up, and both supports, like you said, deleted before anything even kicks off, and they just have to run frantically. We see Charlie and Supreme running away. Chessie goes for the backline, but the fight's already over when those two supports just insta-die. That was, yeah, really nice setup, Kuro. Very rare you get to see, like, just boundless strike being so effective, especially as, like, a support Monkey King, which we don't see ever, but huge strike.
Again and again and again, they are having issues with finding the initiation on this Lifestealer. Because they don't have that instant disable.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
That was pretty. And yeah, they don't. They have the good ways to at least address, like, versus Rage, right? That we see. That's why we see, like, the Rupture being thrown out, the Demonic Purge from the low ground, but they're on the low ground versus a high ground ward, and it's just, yeah, Nigma just gets the most perfect possible way to start a fight. Everything just immediately hitting at the same time, right? Like the supports literally just insta-died to that burst. Couldn't ask for better from Nigma there around that setup.
Well, Nigma, they have reclaimed their advantage. Weeha's gonna, or sorry, Miracle. Keep getting Miracle's playing the voice. A short timeout here.
Yep, and now he has BKB, so his game is a lot easier. He's been a little bit tripped up by the Pangolier and, you know, some of the Willow spells a few times in this game. Now it's going to be much easier for him. GH also somehow super rich on this Earth Spirit this game. He's getting close to his BKB too, so fights just starting to look a lot harder for High Coast whenever those BKBs are at the ready, whenever Nigma has their Dragon form up and good to go. And especially if they look like if they go for those type of setups, it can't be on the low ground. Even if you have the vision of the fight, that was a pretty horrible position for High Coast to have been set up.
Yeah, this is feeling like at this point, High Coast need one of the Dream initiate. They got to get the Rolling Thunder instance done into the Terrorize. Because
yeah,
if people get off these BKBs, I don't think there's much hope for them to win the fight. I don't think they can stall it out long enough.
No, I don't think so either. They really do have to get the initiation. The jump is going to be everything. And they do have a lot of different forms of it, right? They can, like you said, they can do it with the Pango. They can also, if they get a Rupture off and they get a Fear, then they have the Rupture where the guy can't control himself and he's running and burning. So there's a lot of different ways they can approach it. They just, you know, have to be careful of that positioning. And I can't believe Nigma is making the 5 melee actually work right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Viper's time. It's running out.
Radiant's bottom tower
Taken
is
away.
under attack.
As Weeha now able to chunk down this bottom tower, and it's right before 30 minutes, so they're going to be able to deny the outpost away from High Coast, force their hand to maybe swing down here and maybe try to take it away, but that's going to be a hard one, as Nigma, they're going to have time to get everything back up after that whole fight does kick off. High Coast, yeah, they got hit really hard there. The Bloodseeker dead for such a long time, Charlie.
Tier 3 items around here as 19 to 28.
Tower is under attack.
3,000 net worth lead. Nigma, but that isn't that large of a net worth lead. The problem is that High Coast, their timing, it was all supposed to be about 5 minutes ago, and now it's Nigma who are control, damn near say the rest of the game. Bogged, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, I really feel like it too. It's also, like, my control's level 18, so it's like he's got level 3 Dragon form too, so it makes it harder for your Bloodseekers, harder for your Vipers. You're just constantly getting slowed attacked. Even took the Fireball. Just want to point that out. We don't see it too often, but he did go for it this game.
Oh, okay. So good way.
A lot of
like,
mixed feeling.
Low commitment, pushing waves, right? That's kind of the advantage. You drop it, the creep wave die.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird because it's one of those weird shards that it only works in your Dragon form, so it's just like you only get the ability every so often. I don't know, I'm still really mixed feelings about this one because it is a lot of damage if they sit in it, but this feels awkward for like a Dragon Knight. But he is not the carry, you know, he is the offlane DK, so why not? As Chessie very boldly walks into the enemy jungle. Oh my goodness.
Manager to blink himself right away, but Supreme is currently being hunted by GH. It's going to be Silence. Gets the kick out, misses the roll. There's the initiation from Kuro. It's going to be a little off the mark, though. It's Rolling Thunder is going to look to be able to chase Temple Ice Healer inside, but they managed to get the stun onto Supreme before his BKB goes off. Now he's just going to be run down with the actual step. Charlie is not going to be here much longer, and neither is the rest of High Coast. It looks like his era is probably going to be taken out. Yule Scepter is going to set him up. Yeah, Chessie's the only one to make it out alive.
And the game has really crumbled in such fast moments. They can't even kill the support heroes when they get a decent initiation off, as Weeha just eats poor Charlie alive with the Dragon Knight hitting him as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Bloodseeker, he can no longer go toe-to-toe with the Lifestealer, and there's not a good way for High Coast to put damage on Nigma easily and like actually get people low so the thirst starts building up. There's just you could see from that last team fight, Nigma, they can split up quite a bit and still feel really safe.
Yeah, High Coast, the timing is just gone for them, really. Is Nigma now with their 5-man melee, easily able to beat on this tower with all this nice minus armor. Set up the Wukongs for the push.
Rolling around.
He's going to try to go in.
The rage is going to run out soon. He's going to invest inside of Kuro. They have to make sure he doesn't hit out, but he does. And now Charlie's just kind of like diving forward, but I'm not sure if they can fight outside of their base.
He could just get chain stunned and killed. They have so many different instances of stun on Nigma, so yeah, he has to be cautious. Kuroki, it's crazy how he gets infested, and he has 2,700 HP on a 5-position Monkey King. But super tanky. We've seen it a few times now save his life. As Nigma, no slowing down. Arcane Rune on Miracle, playing around this ward vision again.
That's a classic. The 5 position goes toward the triangle. The vision's already there, so Nigma just kill him as he approaches.
This is one of the games I've seen Nigma actually play better around their vision than usual. I've seen them struggle a little bit recently compared to usual around just the warding game. This game has been excellent, just really playing around the vision and just like forcing the fights around the vision too. The way I've seen Miracle just standing on top of wards sometimes is Supreme. He's in no man's land.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Curl will just play the back line to make sure that Supreme cannot TP away. He's going to be forced to BKB. Chessie's going to cover his path as he Rolling Thunders on through. Mind control, waiting to see if he can maybe get the initiation. What does that courier have? Well, it's not gonna be alive. It's got nothing in it.
The quiver hit from the distance. I love it. As now the 5-position Kuroki has a defusal as well. That will be problematic for a lot of High Coast heroes. As Era.
The old Scepter, BH, as a result, it's gonna roll up onto the high ground. He does have a BKB, so that'll be simple for him. Well,
they're so rich now.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
They are insanely rich. Now the Wukong's command actually really means something.
Yep.
With that diffusal blade on a port monkey lifestealer, nobody can really fight him.
That is, I mean, that is really crazy now. That's like, if they don't have BKBs active, you can't really walk into Wukong's. It's gonna own you. And Weehaw, a full AC finished up now too. Their physical damage is just insane now at this point. As High Coast, they got him for Miracle.
Blink in once, but they don't have the follow-up as Chessie wasn't able to get the successful roll back fast enough. He's gonna BKB TP out. He'll be good.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They do get out on the map, but not for long. As Nigma, they're not afraid of taking a team fight 4 versus 5. They don't necessarily need Miracle. They're going to be able to run down Kuro. Looking to be able to chase down Charlie. His BKB is going to run out soon. GH, he doesn't quite get him as the BKB fails, but the Lifestealer catches up to him. Charlie being chased. They got to somehow get something between Charlie and his Lifestealer, but nobody can get away. It's Chessie. He's going to be batted around like a cat with a ball.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Nigma effectively has 5 cores now at this point with the way that they've played this game these last few moments. The last, like, what, 4 team fights, it feels like it's just been no hope for High Coast. That last 27-minute fight where they tried to get Weehaw. After they get the successful fight afterwards, everything really crumbled so quick.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is falling.
An attempt, but Rage already going down. Miracle is in pretty deep here, but the Rolling Thunder isn't anywhere close. He's going to pop his BKB. They're going to take out the supports pretty easily, even pulling the Viper outside of his fountain here potentially. Chessie did do a lot of work with that Rolling Thunder. They're going to try and dissimulate back as Mind Control sits on the front lines of the BKB, knowing that his tank is enough to be able to stand up to all this damage. As poor old Era tries to get into the back line with this Dark Will. It doesn't last for long, and Chessie, he'll be claimed up last. Charlie sitting there in the fountain waiting for the Wukongs to wear out so we can try and chase down some of these heroes, and they do get Kuro thanks to the vision there. Tier 4s are out though. They just do not have anything to stop Weehaw with his Desolator Armlet tearing through the throne. He turns back and then just realizes, let's just hit the buildings, maybe hit Charlie. I'll make up my mind eventually here as High Coast will lose the series here to Nigma. They put up a good fight for game 1, but game 2 just proved that Nigma was certainly the better team. And I feel like this is an analogy for their performance here at the DPC as a whole, Fog. That High Coast, they proved that they had what it takes to be able to push certain games and push certain teams, but